really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Let's go!
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
Well, good morning. Hello, everybody. Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, and, of course, the old Seattle Sports app as well. We're here, Brock. We're here in Peoria. We're here in beautiful Arizona for Mariners spring training all this week. How are we?
I'm doing pretty good. I knew that you would be super excited.
I am.
Yes, I knew that I'd see some joy. I knew that first hug. That just hug that comes on the Monday morning to start the week. You don't have any sunburn yet. You've golfed up in Sun City.
You know it.
Larry and Jane have tucked you in at night, brought you your bottled water, all that good stuff. You got to watch baseball yesterday. I knew, yes. Like, if you ever want happy Salk,
bring me here.
Monday morning, the first day of spring training, happy Salk.
Really, all this week, some of the happiest Salk you're going to get. It's been fun so far, too. Got down here, as you said, Saturday morning. And got off the plane and went directly to Culver's, where I was able to snag a walleye fish sandwich.
Saw that.
A little ahead of Lent, so very exciting that it was already there. Got a little cheese curds with that, of course, because, you know, it's what you do when in Rome.
Sure.
And then went directly from Culver's to Sun City West,
Yes.
the only golf courses in Arizona under $100.
Yep, Marge, Bertha, the whole crew.
Well, so it was all
you.
guys that I played with. I am noticing, though, and I'm not sure what's going on here, it does not seem as if the old folks in Sun City are as old as they used to be. Now, I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe some of the people are dying off.
Sure.
And it's a younger crew that's coming in closer to that age minimum.
Farm system, real good up there in Sun City.
Or I'm getting a little closer to their age, and I'm not sure exactly which the problem is.
Yes.
It's one thing or the other. But it was a great day over there, and always meet some fun people. And then spent some time with my buddy and got over to my parents' house yesterday to spend the night with them, which was fun. I did get to witness something I'd never seen before.
Yeah.
I got to see my dad have a full-on argument with his dog, which is not something everyone gets an opportunity to see. They were in a legitimate fight with my dad cursing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like Northeast Larry.
Like, he was legitimately mad at his dog,
Wow.
who's an old man. Like, he's an old guy.
Yeah.
And the dog, just wanted to go outside
Right.
again. And my dad's like, I'm not letting you outside again. You just went outside. You don't even need to go. Like, he's yelling at the dog about it.
At first you thought he was yelling at Jane.
Well, it's like, what, Dad?
no,
What are
no.
you talking about? Meanwhile, I'm trying to do my work for today, and
Sure.
they're like, isn't it great? It's so much quieter here than at home. And I was like, well, it's not quieter when you're telling me it's quieter, Mom. In fact, you're annoying me and making it hard for me to do this work. And so they're going on. And now my dad and the dog are going back and forth over how many times he can go outside,
Wow.
whether he's just looking to get some sort
How
of a
exactly
treat.
was the dog going back?
Sure.
Don't worry
What
about
was
that.
the dog doing?
More. I don't think you need. Don't get too bent. Don't get too caught up in the
Don't let
details.
the facts get in the way of a good story.
Ultimately, my dad gets so frustrated with the dog that he breaks one of the vertical blinds, and then he's swearing some more.
Larry.
Do you know how many times I've dealt with this damn thing and back?
Yeah, Dad, they're vertical blinds. You know what they do? They break. That's why they're horrible, and everybody tries.
Well, we got to deal with that dog and the blinds, and he got to go. It's like,
Wow.
It was bizarre. It was so when he comes in later this week, I'm sure he'll be here.
Sure.
Please question him about his debate skills with the dog.
So you say vertical blinds or horizontal
No, the
blinds?
vertical.
They're vertical.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Cheap
yeah, yeah.
vertical
Oh,
blind.
yeah.
You may remember him from your years of being
Yes.
poor before you became an NFL player.
Yes.
Vertical blinds are
Oh,
the
yes.
worst.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Yes.
Yeah.
They jam up pretty easy.
Nice. Is that where you did? Was it last night you wrote your 6 storylines, or was that Saturday on the plane down? I just read them as I was dropping the boys off this morning. It was great. Nice little piece you put together.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. No, we'll dig into those in a half hour. We'll dig
Okay.
into those at 6:30. I've been thinking about them and kind of, putting them together in my mind on the plane when I wasn't like trying to coordinate how to get Cecily to hockey practice and stuff like that. And then rode it yesterday. So here we are. Okay. And I got to go to the game yesterday, which was awesome. I'll have some observations and takeaways, but it was kind of fun to see them score 11 runs.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's a harbinger of what's to come.
Can I just tell you guys I'm a little distracted about something this morning?
No,
it's not even the sights yet. It's not me saying hello to the guys walking in. It's not any of that.
Julio came in before you got here.
Yeah, so I went through my normal Starbucks I go through down here when I stay with Gigi and Papa, and I pick up my order, and I'm just in the car, and it's still dark out, right? The sun now is just rising over the cell phone tower.
Beautiful.
And it really wasn't until I got closer to here that I got something written on my cup this morning. And now I've got it turned to me, so maybe the entire show I can just be built up.
What does it say?
What do you think about that?
You're so slay.
What do we think? What do we think about this?
It's a UR.
Yeah.
Like the letter U and the letter R.
What am I supposed to think about this?
You're so slay.
You are so slay.
Maybe that Starbucks employee is just trying to brighten everyone's day, but maybe you're getting hit on.
Maybe. I mean, it was kind of a younger gal.
You kind of made a huge
it was
mess
dark.
of the cup. What happened?
Well, she spilled it. I think after she
is
wrote
that
it.
brown lipstick?
No, it's not brown
lipstick. It looks like my mother-in-law's cup when she's done with it.
Yeah.
What's going on with your cup?
No, she handed it to me and kind of spilled, and she felt bad.
Well, she was probably nervous.
Yeah.
After,
How about that?
You're so slay.
Dude,
well, that's got to make you feel good this morning.
I think I'm just going to look at that entire
I would say, I assume you took a picture of it and sent it to Molly?
No.
What?
No.
Now, would Molly like that a young Starbucks barista was hitting on you?
You feel like I need to do that? I will do it.
I will tell you, in the off chance
So inappropriate.
and / impossibility that some Starbucks employee was hitting on me, I can promise you there would be immediate pictures sent to my wife. Look what's happening down in the desert. Obviously, the sun agrees with me. You better be excited about what you've got because other people want it.
You only get hit on by the old ladies at the golf.
Well, and that didn't even happen now because they're not old anymore. They're just they see me as one of their peers instead of a younger man walking around. I've crossed over into their midst. So anyway, that's where we're at. Brock, you are so slay.
I'm just going to stare at that the whole show.
As you should. It's going to keep you motivated.
Yeah.
Since we've been here this morning, and it's going to be beautiful, beautiful day. It's been awesome down here. I'm sorry to tell everybody. Yeah. They have made some additions. The turf, as you probably heard, extends much farther out than it used to from the pitching area right behind us. Mm-hmm. They've got like some football hash marks. Right, that run up and down here. So I don't know if you need to know exactly how far 10 yards is. You've got it.
If you want to run a 25-yard curl for me.
Is that what this is?
Yeah,
how long do we have here?
25 yards.
25 yards?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
so it's like the red zone.
Yeah, I think you do that. Obviously, easy measurement for the guys when they're doing all their plyos and their bounding and their lateral stuff.
Yeah.
And kind of good little markers out there. Look at all the TVs, all the screens now right under the cantilever bullpen over there, so they can track all their stuff with TrackMan. Looks good.
But everything else, I mean, they've updated some stuff. The memorable Mariners board to our right, Brock. I think you'll like this. We could go through everybody that's up there.
Yep.
Starting all the way on the right, that is Harold Reynolds.
Yeah, Raul.
And then we got Raul Mondesi.
We've added Felix. King is new up there.
Felix is there now.
Yep.
And then we've got Dan Wilson, the catcher, not to be confused with Dan Wilson, the manager. Same person,
Randy
different
Johnson looks 9 feet tall.
I mean, if those are to scale, Randy Johnson is like 13 feet taller than everybody else, which is awesome.
Kind of looks like Mora.
You got Gar, who kind of looks like he has his arm around Randy Johnson. I don't know what's going on there. Junior, of course, in his
right in the middle,
right at the end of his beautiful swing.
Yeah.
Ichiro with his left arm across to the right and the bat extended, getting ready to hit. You've got
Mr. Mariner
himself, Alvin Davis,
Mr. Moyer,
Jamie Moyer, who Mora thought was Marco Gonzalez.
Sorry, makes sense.
Sorry to throw you under the bus. Jay Buhner in his stance and ready to hit.
In that picture, he looks like...
No, honestly, that's not a No, I agree with you. You can't really see the hair.
But I did think it was interesting that if Marco made the wall of memorable men.
That would be, I got to tell you, Marco, nice guy. That'd be sad.
Marco, maybe not on the same scale as
Marco
the guys
probably
that are
shouldn't be on the memorable Mariner wall. And then you got Jay Buhner, of course. And now just sort of looking up to Jay is Kyle Seager, mouth agape. Wow. Like he can't believe he just hit the ball.
Yeah.
There's your buddy, Brock, Kyle Seager.
That's
that's new.
That's an extended wall. Lots of new pictures in the hallway. Gosh, you're kind of reminded of a lot of Cy Young Award winners, Hall of Famers.
And indoors, they've all the new stuff that had been up a few years ago with celebrating the history of the Mariners is still there, but it's been updated and just kind of gave it a little refresh.
You know what?
It looks neater and
you know
cleaner
what?
and
And it's classy. It's done well.
Yeah.
And what this does is imprint on these 5 top 100 prospects that are here in Major League Camp for the first time. It just is a little imprint of the brand, of the stars, of the Hall of Famers, of what can become in your career. And
a few of those stars arrived early this morning. Julio was one of the first people here this morning, as he often is. Strolled in, big smile, the whole deal. Cal Raleigh came in, saw him.
No idea who those two are.
I don't know who those two people are either. There's also some randos walking around that look like they might be players, but who the heck really knows?
Great lettuce.
All right, today on the show, Brock, we will dig into our spring training Mariner storylines at 6:30. 7:30 this morning, we'll be joined by one of the starting pitchers, Bryce Miller. Will be here today. And then at 8:30, Justin Hollander, Mariners general manager, is going to stop by as well. I don't think he's ever been on the show. We used to do a show with Jerry DiPoto, but that hasn't happened for a couple of years. So now Justin Hollander.
And when we come in and out of break, can you just remind everybody
that you're so slay?
Yes,
Brock is really slay, especially when he's down here in Arizona, where we will be all week long. And we'll come right back with everything you need to know next.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
Brock, what is your bold prediction for the Seahawks this year?
Every day at 7:45.
I was looking at the numbers defensively when it was all said and done. Finished in the top 15 in your major categories. I think year 2 with more time on task. Year 2 with a couple additional pieces. Year 2 with everybody basically coming back defensively and hopefully adding a difference maker third corner. This could be a top 5 defense in the league.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hello. Welcome to Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name. It's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Calling all pickleballers, Champions of Change and Safeway announced a multi-city pickleball tournament, including celebrity games with Seahawk legends Doug Baldwin, Mike Bennett, Cliff Averill, and more. In collaboration, Nourishing Champions campaign will be raising awareness and accepting donations to provide nutritious foods for student athletes in under-resourced high schools. You can help by donating at your local Safeway checkout. Open to all. The tournaments are in Seattle, Lacey, and Spokane. Register today at championsofchangefoundation.org/pickleball.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling.
I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Bill! Got a leak? Need heat? Call Southwest today.
Southwest Plumbing, the one to call.
Jake was suffering from osteoarthritis when his doctors asked him to consider surgery.
However, there's a 9-month recovery period where essentially you're not walking and you're not putting much in the way of weight on.
That wasn't going to work for him, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I heard the ads, and that caused me to do due diligence.
And how are you doing now?
There's not really any pain now at all. I have no limitations in what I want to do.
Wow, so you're able to do anything you want to do?
I recently played golf at Cycle House down in Pebble Beach, walked 18 holes, which I hadn't been able to do for a number of years, and then went for about a 2-mile walk with my friend.
I take it you'd recommend stem cell therapy to others then?
Absolutely. Had I known then what I know now, I would have done this several years ago and saved myself a lot of pain and suffering and agony and limitation to activity.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
In a sea of thousands of competitors, Riverside Roofing continues to stand out. And guess what? They got openings this winter for your roof project. Call 425-949-8252 or go to riversideroofingllc.com, the roofing company you can trust.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, Brock, how about a blowout win in the home opener yesterday? I was there. It was fun to watch. 11 runs without the benefit of a single home run. How about that? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what happens when you have a 17-hit barrage. 2 hits, 2 driven in for young Ben Williamson. A couple of ribbies from Tyler Locklear. 2 hits apiece for Crawford and Garver and Shenton and Canzone. And I really like this big one from Ryan Bliss, cut number 2.
Hit the ball the other way. Here's a swing and a drive deep to straightaway center field. Thomas going back to the one-he track. This is off the base of the fence. Locklear rounding third. He'll score easily. And racing into third with a slide goes Ryan Bliss with an RBI double. And it's now the Mariners 3 and the Diamondbacks 1. And that little guy put a big charge into that pitch from Tommy Henry off the base of the wall in straightaway center.
Yeah, I don't know what you get for hitting off Tommy Henry, but it was nice to see them do it. They had a big inning in the second. Dan was obviously very happy with what they did. And if there was one guy that I think you love to see come up with a couple hits, it's Mitch Garver, right? I mean, he is one of those big pieces that if he were to come back to be the player he had been, it would be a major, major difference for this team and their offense this year. Cut number 5, Dan sure liked what he saw out of the guy who was catching yesterday.
Yeah, Garv looks, he looked great today with his at-bats and did a nice job behind the plate, I thought. And yeah, I think, he did put a lot of work in and the ball was jumping off his bat today. I thought his swing looked free and easy, nice and relaxed, and hit the ball hard for us. And, up and down our lineup, guys were really swinging it today.
Yeah, a lot of exit velo yesterday. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that.
In all of baseball. for that matter. The top 4 in all of baseball, right here. Julio just hit a liner right back to the middle of the field. But did Garver's swing look a little shorter?
I don't know that I could tell from where I was. What I saw, I mean, they were 2 balls that he just deposited into left center. It was great. Just line drives.
Yeah.
Man, if he does that this year, and I know it's just a spring training start, it doesn't mean jack squat. But the difference that the Mitch Garver they signed versus the Mitch Garver we saw.
He had $174.
I mean, like that obviously is an untenable situation.
Not who he had been at any other point in his career.
You get a real Mitch Garver next year, and it would
this year.
This year.
Yeah, and let's not worry about next year.
Yeah, well,
he's done after
next
this
year. He doesn't have to be here. They'll get back to it today against Milwaukee. Logan Gilbert going to make his first start, so try not to talk to him today, Brock.
You know what, I won't.
Luis Castillo will go tomorrow. Maybe that's a sign of what the rotation.
Did I see there's also a Luis F. Castillo?
Yeah, he pitched yesterday. He didn't pitch very well. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't want to know what the F stands for.
Is that his little brother, Luis F. Castillo?
Don't worry about the F.
All right.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Not all good news, though. One little note: Jorge Polanco slow to start the spring. Had off-season knee surgery, right? But was signed under the assumption that he was in much better shape and much better condition than last year. Dan Wilson said he wasn't concerned, but that's not the way you want to hear this story start this year, right?
Don't you want to take it slow, though? A guy that last year battled and played through that thing. Don't need him to wear a Warrior badge in the first week of camp.
But I just want to hear that he's fine.
Yes.
Like, they just signed him.
Yep.
I'd like to hear that he's fine. If he's not, I'll tell you, we're going to be talking about Ben Williamson this year, I have a feeling. I really liked what I saw yesterday. Good to see Donovan Solano arrived in camp after some visa issues that kept him out for the first few days. He will likely make his Cactus League debut later this week. And we got to see another new pitch, Brock, another debut of a new pitch.
Oh, yeah.
It's not Bryce Miller, who will join us at 7:30. It wasn't Logan this time, although I think they also have new pitches. It was Andres Munoz.
I watched it.
The closer, he threw a changeup, Brock.
I watched
You watched the video.
I watched the video.
What did you think?
And I read Shannon's amazing article on it.
I know. What did you think?
I actually have a bunch of thoughts on this, and it's shaped by the skipper at the Oklahoma State University.
Okay.
Who I chatted with the other day. I was there this weekend and went and saw their facility, and Matt Holliday's brother's a skipper there, longtime college guy. So I got some good thoughts on this one. I think
you still call him Matt Holliday's brother and
I
not
call him
Jackson
Skip.
Holliday's uncle?
I just call him Skip.
I wasn't sure.
That's it.
How you go through that. In any event, Matt Brash was one of the many observers. He called it the nastiest pitch he had ever seen. So, yeah, good luck to everybody in the American League, because apparently Andres Munoz has added the nastiest pitch you've ever seen.
What is it? A kick changeup? Is
I
that
don't know
how
what
they're
that
labeling
means.
it?
A kick change?
Well, that's what they called it. Not a spike change.
Right. More of a kick change?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll get that figured out by the end of the day.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Really nice win for the Kraken on the road Saturday against a very good Florida team. That's a way to start the second half of the season. Coming out of the break, McCann and Capocacco both had goals, which was great. It's good to see the captain, Jordan Eberle, back on the ice. I do think they missed
That's one of their better wins, right? Florida on the road.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, he's the captain. They missed his production on the ice. They missed his two-way game. They missed especially his leadership. And then you were hoping maybe they'd carry it through to the second game in as many nights in Florida. They go to Tampa and just get shellacked. The NHL debut of goaltender Ales Stejka, but not enough. As Shane Wright scores the only goal. Combine later this week, Brock.
Yeah.
Thursday?
Yeah, it kicks off Thursday. John will talk Tuesday. Mike McDonald will talk Wednesday. Remember, Mike McDonald, as Brady tweeted out, had not been at the Combine last year, so a bunch of firsts for him, even though a year under his belt. But, yeah, that all gets going, and, man, lots of prospects. I'll hit on a few of them in Blue 88, I'm sure, over the course of this week and even today.
Good. Very good. All right, that's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour. Did I screw something up?
No. Not
I
that,
did.
No.
I said Raul Mondesi instead of Raul Ibanez. That's my bad.
That's messed up.
It is messed up. I was thinking about the great arm of Raul Mondesi.
Mondesi had a cannon.
Cannon. One of the great arms. I think he actually had a cannon tattooed on his arm.
Did he really?
That was either him or Jose Guillen. One of them had a cannon.
It was Danny Tartable.
It was either Guillen. I think it was either Guillen or Mondesi that had an actual cannon tattooed on his arm.
Nice. You know what I was thinking? Two things. I was thinking that the airport, which I've spent a lot of time in my life, is like the worst cesspool of humanity.
Yeah.
And yet, after the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, Peg and Mike, we took them to Stillwater. And then this weekend, we took Larry and Carol. I'm thinking Progressive has really missed the mark, Progressive needs to do a Progressive commercial.
Oh, the old people.
With the old people at the airport.
Oh, that's actually really good.
It is extraordinary.
They're struggling.
Oh my gosh. Peg's like, well, Michael, I told Michael to get his, we get our, he has his fanny pack and he has his license and his fanny, like all of the things that are one. Well, Carol, you know what? There could be an accident. We got to get there 4 hours early. You never know what's going to be on.
I mean, just having to tag their own bags is an ordeal.
Oh my
I've had to help my dad figure that out.
Yeah.
Yes, watching them.
It's stressful. It's stressful for them.
Well, and the fact that for the most part, people are using their phones as tickets now
Correct.
instead of a paper
I said,
ticket.
Mom, watch this. I tried to do it with them. Nope, I got to print it out. I need 2 different copies of it. Like, Progressive could have a heyday.
Yeah.
A heyday
They're really
at the
missing
airport.
the boat.
Yes.
They're missing the boat.
So if you're copywriter for Progressive, there you go.
Speaking of old people, interesting to see Michael Saunders walk by here. We had texted with him last week. Knew he was in the organization as a
roving base running instructor.
Minor league base running instructor.
Yes.
Looks good. No more hair. I was shocked to see the straight up bald version of Michael Saunders. So
got a little the Haniger look.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good call.
Haniger
Like a stretched out, taller, also injured Mitch
But he
Haniger.
kind of poo-pooed the "You Are So Sly." He's like, "Well, what do you expect? You're wearing Mariners gear. I'm sure she thought you were some player of some sort." So
they got a lot. They got a lot of
nice.
nearly 50-year-old players, do they? Is that what's going on with the Mariners now? All right, coming up next. While there are no 50-year-olds, at least on the roster, there are some kids, and they're one of my 6 Mariners storylines to watch here in spring training. We're in Peoria, and we'll go through them with you next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
Joining us here in the booth, Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill.
Julio being Julio is still going to matter, I think, more than anyone else you bring in. I think he can be a true difference maker, all-star MVP quality. I mean, we all know what his ceiling can be. And I'm actually really confident that he's going to have a big year. And because we have seen it in flashes where he has been among the best players in baseball.
Yeah.
Like the absolute best player that this game has to offer.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I'm sorry to be sitting here talking all about the warm weather in Arizona. I know it's been rainy. I know it can be cold in Seattle this time of year. But if your house is feeling super drafty or your electric bills are going way up, might be because your attic or crawl space aren't properly insulated, okay? That's why you get Crawl Pros to come out to your house, do the full corner-to-corner inspection. They'll do it for free. And then you could get some help paying for changes if you need them. Utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of having your home properly insulated. That could include a once-in-a-lifetime rebate from Puget Sound Energy. If you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you might qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yep, 95%. Don't wait. Take advantage of an incredible rebate deal like that today. Call Crawl Pros and learn what's going on back behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free, and then what energy rebates you are eligible for. So if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ooh, got a dash light on? The AutoZone free Fix Finder service can read your check engine, ABS, and other warning lights to help you find the fix. You'll get an easy-to-read report with clear next steps. And we can recommend a trusted local shop if you need one. It's the most complete free warning light report backed by technician-verified fixes. The free Fix Finder service with shop referral. Only at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Split into 6 teams. Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches, only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
Finding the right employee for your company is tough. One wrong hire can be a major setback.
You're not alone if you face this. A recent survey by Robert Half shows nearly half of hiring managers readily admit to making a bad hire. Luckily, there's a solution. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can have the right skilled professional in place quickly. We understand what it takes to build winning teams because at Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
So here's the deal with Mariners season ticket memberships. You've got two great options. With a Flex membership, you have the freedom to pick your seats, games, and number of tickets whenever you want. Or if you like knowing where you're sitting all season long, go with a Reserved membership and lock in your seats from day one. Both plans get you access to exclusive pre-sales, year-round discounts, special event invites, and more. Check it out at mariners.com/25.
Now Raleigh wins it in the 10th inning for the Mariners.
Headed outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on SeattleSports.com.
It's time to go all in at Toyota of Kirkland. All in on their commitment to quality, innovation, and durability that makes Toyota of Kirkland certified pre-owned and used vehicles the best in the market. When a product is made better, it lasts longer, and Toyota of Kirkland is the place to be to go all in on your next used vehicle for that reason. With a large inventory of certified pre-owned and used vehicles with incredible savings, why not visit their wonderful staff and beautiful showroom today at Toyota of Kirkland or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and go all in on your next car.
O'Brien. Every window tells a story, whether it's watching your kids play outside or enjoying a beautiful sunset. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Our replacement windows are designed to frame those moments. Brighten your home with our exclusive offer. Buy 3 windows and get 1 free. Call today to take advantage of this limited deal. 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule a free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. This summer, experience breathtaking Cascade views and world-class dining. Elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost relaxation. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Discover LeBay, America's Car Museum in Tacoma. Explore 300 world-class cars, 100 years of history, and the Shinka exhibit with 50 iconic Japanese sports cars. Thrilling race simulators and fun for the whole family. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
The wait is over. Hey, it's your old pal, the Graz here, inviting you to come celebrate the grand reopening of Jackson Park's driving range. They are throwing a party and everyone is invited. They'll have new range balls, mats and targets, music on the range, and face painting for the kids, so bring the whole family. Free top tracer all weekend long as well. That's right. Free top tracer all weekend long as well. How about free 10-minute lessons after 2 p.m., food specials, and of course plenty to drink. All day Saturday, the grand reopening of Jackson Park's spanking new driving range.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We roll on here from Peoria. You hear this song? Justin Barnes is with us, by the way, this morning. Oh, Justin can't hear us. He might need more. He might need a different.
He can hear us. He doesn't have a mic.
He can't
He
speak.
sits over here.
Go sit over there for a second. I need to talk to you.
over here,
I got
Barnes.
news for you, Barnesy. Get over here.
Salk and I are teaching
I got
you
news.
two
I got
some
actual news for you.
relationship
Can you hear us?
lessons.
All right. Justin Barnes is here, former
morning, gang.
producer of the show,
You guys look great.
current social media and digital maven for Bonneville,
Guru.
Seattle. Yeah, guru, you name it.
Thank you.
But he's down here with us, and then you'll be down here next week for Wyman and Bob as well, right? So you're getting a little extra time down here in the desert, which is cool.
Love it.
Fake Betsy coming down.
Yes, actually, Betsy is going to
Amazing.
come down.
Good.
Yes, she's going to be here next week.
Good.
Of course, conveniently not.
Yeah,
So we're
yeah.
here.
Of course, it won't be until next week.
Yeah.
Of course.
She does get to come down, though.
I don't know if you heard the song that was playing there. I know it's one of your favorites, Toto. Hold the Line, which is a long-standing Brock and Salk in bumper music.
And a top 3 in lines ranked.
I know. Yes, absolutely.
Are you two going to rank some this week, right?
Ooh, maybe we could one day this
goodness
week.
gracious.
It feels like something we
could
could probably
be here
put
with us
together.
all morning long. Like I would think
it took
you could do
about
that.
4 minutes for Ryan Divish to ask if he could rank this week, too. So
Perfect.
Well, and I'm sure my dad is going to want to do something like that also.
Divish's ranking of the things he hates last year was one of my favorite things that happened.
We could maybe just do an updated ranking on things he hates. I don't think we need to get too much more complicated than that. Anyway, as you know, my daughter Avery is a singer, and she does the School of Rock band stuff, and she's doing arena rock this time
Great
around.
category.
So guess what song she's singing?
Hold the line.
Hold the line. How great is that?
Oh, that is ideal. Can we watch it?
Yes, not for a while.
Can we watch it? Salk films everything. Are you kidding me?
I know, it's true.
She just started
sort of a pageant
rehearsing. Yeah, exactly.
I've seen Cecily Garden Girls bigger than her. I've seen Cecily's Hat Trick. I've seen Avery's rock songs already. Yes.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, she's doing Hold the Line, Bad Reputation by Joan Jett.
Great.
And something else. I don't know. She's not sure what else she's got.
And this is from the second era, the first era. Did she do AC/DC?
She did some AC/DC. Yeah, she did some other stuff as well.
Don O'Neill's son still the guitar.
I haven't seen him, but I think he's still doing it.
Okay.
Gunner?
Yeah.
Gunner O'Neill?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Awesome.
Justin, I just wanted to
Thank
let
you,
know.
Justin. Good to see you. Okay.
You guys
Good
look
to
great.
see you.
You're so
And,
slay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Everyone here.
Well, lesson for you and more. I mean, you guys are both in relationships now, and I think this is an important lesson. Keep the headsets on.
Okay.
Salk's like, well, did you text Molly the picture?
Make her jealous.
Yes.
And?
So, of course, I did. And I said, hey, babe, looks like I still got it. And she said, you still got it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Confirmed.
Just got to remind them every once in a while, right, Salk?
I've been trying for 25 years to make Heather jealous. One day it's going to work. I haven't gotten there yet. I just need someone to hit on me once, and I can finally make Heather jealous. So, okay, let's see.
Storylines.
We're here, and I got storylines for you, Brock. This is up as a post at seattlesports.com, on our app, the whole deal. If you want to read through the 6 Mariner storylines here of spring training.
Okay, awesome. Before you do that, little prelude to that, I was just checking out the new cages.
Okay.
Phenomenal, by the way. Absolutely phenomenal. Chatting with my buddy, Mr. Mariner, AD himself.
So
great dude. Saw Edgar, said hello to him.
Ask Calvin Davis if he would go to the woman's wedding to give her away.
If you want me to,
Yeah,
I
we
will
got to go.
totally
We got to
do
have
that.
that
I will totally do that.
Yes.
But anyhow, he and I were watching some of the young guys, right? So this time of the day, kind of the first wave guys and the catchers, and then the kind of bigger name guys come. That's kind of the rotation of with the hitting. And I looked over there, and dude, looks like a little NFL running back. Alvin said that. I'm like, who is that? Michael Arroyo.
Oh, yeah.
He
can really hit.
Holy smokes.
He can really hit.
You want to talk about Buff Dude Report started out on a Monday morning here. That dude has some thought. So does Emerson. Like all these young bucks. Like that, my head's going to be spinning.
I've got some Emerson thoughts for you.
My head is going to be spinning the next 4 days.
We'll get to those guys, Brock.
There wasn't a Buff Dude to be found here
we're gonna
15 years ago. And now I got Buff Dudes galore.
Well, we're going to get to those. They're part of these storylines. So this is going to happen.
Awesome.
Storyline number 1, well, it's appropriate because you were in the cages, and it's the most obvious of all of them. Is there enough offense? And I know every angry Mariner fan right now is like, no! All right, maybe there's not. I mean, like, it's very possible there's not enough offense. There wasn't last year. There really wasn't the year before or the year before that. They have been offensively challenged. There's no doubt about it. So is there a chance that they're better this year? And if they are, I would say some combination of these 4 things have to take place. You need bounce-back seasons from some of the guys that weren't good last year. We talked about Garver, who had a couple hits yesterday, J.P. Crawford, who had a couple good at-bats yesterday, Jorge Polanco, who's still not playing, right? Or you're going to need more like breakout seasons from Dylan Moore, Ryan Bliss, Tyler Locklear, folks that you're not really expecting to show up and have a great season. You're going to need one or both of those 2 things. That would be the first. Second would be Julio, and he's going to get his own separate storyline here because he's Julio, but you need like Julio to be Julio. Third would be Dan Wilson's aggressive game plan and Edgar's simplified approach. And we'll talk more about Dan here as another storyline, but that's another way your offense can improve. And then finally, you have to believe in order for them to be better this year that Arozarena and Robles, the 2 guys you added midseason who were good, continue to be good, and over the course of a full season will make a difference for the offense.
Yeah, and I think when we talk about enough offense, is you add context to that, it's a very similar conversation to the Seahawks offensive line. You're not looking for this offense, and it won't be a top 10 offense.
Almost impossible to do in their ballpark.
Yes,
really hard to do.
Very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Just be, can I just be 12th to 15th? Can I just be kind of where you're picked in these power rankings by and large, somewhere between 12 and even 18?
I think what I would say is it would have to even be more than that, though, because it would have to have a level of consistency. You know, you complained a lot about the Mariner offense 2 years ago, Teoscar and that season.
Yeah.
They finished 11th in runs, but it wasn't a consistent night in, night out.
Peaks and valleys.
Right. They would have some moments where they looked unbelievable and score 12 runs and then, get shut out 3 days in a row. So you're going to need a little consistency, not just the ability to put up a top 11 or 12 offense. Storyline number 2, and this is probably the biggest of any of them because it's the most important, and not just Julio. Is Julio ready to become an MVP? Because that's the kind of talent he has, and we've seen the stretches of it, so we know he's capable of it. But can he do it game in, game out, month in, month out, beginning of the year through the end, in order to be the MVP candidate that we all think he's capable of being?
It feels like in your senior year, your 4th time around the planet with the Major League Baseball, that trend line from, just one metric, but I think it would mirror, that WAR number would mirror a bunch of the different metrics, slugging and whatever you want to do. That trend line is just, it's not taking a significant dip, but it hasn't been at the heights it was his rookie year. Like, can we just kind of get that bounce back up the mountain, right? If it just is kind of, and obviously the defense plays and the energy plays and the competitive play, all those things play. Can we just kind of see those numbers get back to his rookie year?
Yeah. Well, and then more consistently throughout. I mean, if he's consistent, the numbers will be there.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I think we all know that. And I don't think it's a concentration issue. I don't think it's a work ethic issue. It's none of that. I mean, he's got all of that in spades.
Do you think the swing and the size can be consistent?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he needs to swing less. I said it over and over again last year. I'm going to continue to say it. I put together just a couple of final numbers on it from last year.
Ebenezer's coming out.
I want to give you the accurate numbers. I don't want to mess these up.
Yes.
I don't want to get too numbers heavy either.
Please.
But Julio swung at 54% of the pitches he saw last season. That was the most.
That feels like a lot.
It is. The average in baseball was 47%, and most of the better hitters in baseball are significantly south of that.
Yep.
You can't swing at 54% of the pitches you see. It's too many.
Yep.
He swung at 40% of first pitches that he saw. 40%.
That's not Edgar.
The league's 30%.
That's not Edgar.
The average in the league is 30%. You'd like to be below that. I'd like him to be at the 25% number. He's at 40.
Yep.
That is a major difference. He chased 37% of the pitches outside the zone. The league was at 29.
Were you under the covers when you were studying Baseball Savant doing this?
I was not.
At the table?
He's going to chase. Julio's going to chase.
Sure.
I don't expect that number to be at 29% or below. I know he's going to chase, and I'm okay with that. But 37 is probably higher than you want it to be, or you better be more successful at hitting those pitches. He made contact on 53% of the pitches outside the zone. The league's a little better than that at 58%. He's swinging too hard at the wrong pitches.
And remember, those averages that you pointed to, those are league averages.
League averages.
Those aren't superstars.
No,
those
aren't
aren't
league
Soto
average.
and Judge.
That's right.
And you look at those guys' numbers, going to be very different than the league average.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
So, looking at I'm no analytical genius, but looking at some of the cursory numbers, you can see there's some pretty simple things Julio needs to do to try to become that kind of a player. All right, that's number 2. Mariner storylines up at SeattleSports.com. Number 3, do you understand the philosophy? Do you truly understand what this offensive philosophy is all about?
Heck yes, I do.
Do you?
Heck yeah. 162 battles, bro.
Okay. Well, do you understand what that means?
No.
Okay, me neither. So that's sort of the point. And that's something I want to learn a little bit more about while I'm down here. Why does it smell like burnt hair?
It really does.
It reeks of burnt hair.
We don't have a wire burning over there, do we?
I don't know, but it legitimately.
This isn't the sun on your pale legs.
No, I hope not.
Are you sure?
Are my legs burning?
I think they. I think you've got one of your 3 hairs in this porn that's on fire right now.
It reeks of burnt hair. What is happening
I don't
here?
know. Don't look at me.
Is somebody naring themselves for something? What is going on?
Remember when we were in Dublin and old Cairo, the engineer was burning?
Start a fire.
Our wire was burning, It was smoking.
It was.
Yes.
All right. Well,
okay. Keep an eye out over there.
We're gonna fight through the smell of burnt hair
All right.
in order to get you through this. I'm not sure I fully.
You two are so easily distracted.
Oh, like you weren't distracted by the burnt hair? Come on.
I can't smell
I
a
was
thing.
listening intently
smell.
to all of your analytics.
I'm sorry. You're right.
Yes.
Thank you, Maura. Thank you for listening so hard to me. Are they going to bunt a lot? Are they?
Did you
gonna
see Shannon
steal?
filming bunting
Are they going
practice
to be
on this
aggressive?
extra turf?
All of those things that were part of a 50-game sprint to the finish, whatever it was. You can do that stuff over 50 games. Can you do it over 162? Is that going to be the norm? Is that going
Montez
to
is a
be
big
all right?
dude.
Enough.
Locklear is a big dude.
All right, enough.
Am I distracted more?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Focus. You're so sly. Can they do that over 162? I know you're nervous about that.
How could you not be? The last
how could I not be? Because I'm not. Because I kind of
the last
like
25 years of baseball has essentially been about not.
Because I watch a lot of college baseball, so I watch a lot of little league baseball. I watch a lot of baseball with some small ball and put the ball in play and be aggressive and take the extra base and do the little things and not just swing for the fences and not just have a 3 true outcome guy all over the. Like, how could I not be excited about it? I'm super excited about this. If indeed that's a little bit more. Now, it's not going to be full scale. You're not going to go to the wishbone. You're not going to turn back the clock 100 years. I think you're going to see this, though, like we did over the final 50. Were you bothered in any way by the final 36 to 50 games? Was there any time where you're like, you were a little bit? Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
I was a little
That's
bit.
okay.
It worked.
Yeah.
But I have questions about it. I'm not saying it won't work.
Don't you know everything comes back around?
I do.
Bell bottoms, those jeans, those flares, those
Yeah,
come back in style.
we're back at the halftime show. I know.
Yes.
I have questions about it. I'm not saying it can't work. If it does, it is going to change the way this organization functions for the future.
If how many times you, me, everybody at the station, everybody listening, all Mariner fans have clamored for what are you going to do? How are you going to hit in this place? How's it going to be different in April and May and June in this really cold ballpark in the hardest place to hit?
Yeah.
And that's not just an opinion. Those are the facts and the numbers behind it. Well, maybe do something you haven't fully invested in yet.
And I like that idea. I'm not poo-pooing. I'm
minorly poo-pooing, like
no,
burnt
I'm not.
hair.
I'm
yeah.
not poo-pooing. It's hard to accept that the statistical revolution of the last 25 years, you're about to go completely against the grain. The idea of limiting outs, right? That outs are the one precious resource you have and you only get 27 of them, to start sacrificing and giving those away goes against everything we've learned analytically in the last 25 years. What it needs to be is, instead of focusing on that, you've got to think of this as the Mariners don't need to score 7 runs to win. You've got the specific circumstances in place with, as you said, a lousy hitter's park, a tremendous pitching staff. It's going to give you a quality start most nights. You don't need to play for the 4-run inning, the 3-run home run. You need to score 1 or 2 one-run. You don't need the crooked numbers. You need more innings with 1 run to get to the same result.
Yeah.
And if that works, it will completely change the future of Mariner
I'm
baseball.
glad you brought up 27 outs. I think there's a banner of that somewhere over here, right? 27 outs and no more. That's the mindset, pitching and defense and all of that. On the flip side of that, Salk, I would say part of where my intrigue is, you know what we've not had around here for a number of years? Productive outs. Not a lot of productive outs of moving a runner along, of a sac fly that scores a runner from third.
You haven't had it in baseball because baseball has said outs are precious.
That's right.
I mean, if the out is productive, great, better than non-productive, but outs are precious.
Yep.
And so
hard enough to hit.
We'll be curious to see what that looks like.
Yep.
Number 4, and obviously that'll be a big conversation with Dan as he joins us later this week as well. What is the level of trust and buy-in from these players? So far, so good. Honestly, so far, so good. The level of trust and buy-in has been incredible. We've seen what it looks like when it's not. End of the year, Cal Raleigh, right? And him getting upset, and JP Crawford, who just walked by us a couple minutes ago. We know what it looks like when they are frustrated and don't like what the organization is up to. The organization didn't do a lot this offseason. Are they going to be towing the company line on that? Or is this going to be an issue at some point? So far, so good. Cut 11, here is Julio Rodriguez. He was asked about the lack of activity this offseason and said this.
Really excited. You know, like the beginning of the year it is what it is, you know. But I feel like I definitely took with me, like, the last 6 weeks, what we did as a team, what we did as an organization, and everything. Just kind of how we continue to push forward. We were right there again. So I definitely took those last 6 weeks with me into my off season and kind of try to carry into this year. I think we have a really talented group. Maybe a lot of people don't want to see it like that, but that's kind of their opinion, and I don't really care about that. And I just think that this group has what it takes, and I feel like I think that's something that we continue to be focused, continue to be fighting as a team, and I think that's the only way that we're going to get through.
I personally don't really care what other people think.
Right.
And I think he fully believes that Randy Arozarena and Victor Robles and his blonde buddies out there, the blonde bombers, I think he fully believes that our outfield's as talented as anybody that we're going to play.
Absolutely.
And that's not just him saying that. I think he, genuinely has that kind of, now, same belief in some of the other people that we've mentioned that have to bounce back. Don't know. But his triumvirate,
his group
that he spends the most time with, right, that he's kicking it with, that he's in the cages with.
Well, look, the best news here is that he's saying that. The best news is that we haven't heard Cal walk in and be like, yeah, it's a real bummer. They should have done more. That's great news. I'm really legitimately happy. That's a testament to those players, a testament to Dan and his group in the coaching staff. Through it and talking to these guys and whatever communication went on during this offseason. But after nearly a decade with Scott's service here, now you have a new coaching staff and a new manager to start the year. Yeah, I am curious what that vibe is like behind what they're saying to the media. How fragile is the piece? Or is it really solid? Do they really truly believe? And we'll see that over time. Maybe not yet in spring training, but do these guys sign long-term deals? Is Cal here for a long time? Is Logan here? Those will be indicators of how they truly feel about it.
Save for Scott from above, they have believed in continuity. And there have been a lot of it where a lot of other teams in baseball don't have it, and that's trickled down to the personnel that Julio addresses there, that, there's a lot of continuity amongst, obviously our pitching staff and a lot of names and faces that he's pretty darn familiar with.
Well, number 5, as we go through these Mariners spring training and storylines as we are down here.
And you can read these. Salk wrote these. He penned these last night. He was all Savantish.
I did spend some time on this, so thank you. I appreciate it.
In the middle of his dad and the dog going back and forth.
They were nearly in a paw fight. I mean, it was nearly got violent between my dad and his 14-year-old English Cocker Spaniel named Walter. It was quite an ordeal.
I don't know how you persevered and wrote this story.
Great
but
focus.
We're grateful for
Focus.
it.
Tremendous. Tonight, if I have to do more work, I'm pulling out the AirPods because it was impossible. You mentioned the pitching staff, Brock. Just a simple one. We won't spend a lot of time on this. Is just, can you stay healthy? If the pitching's healthy, it'll be great. It's been healthy for the last few years. The odds tell you that that's not going to last. But maybe they've cracked the code. Maybe letting these guys throw as many innings as they have is beneficial to them and is going to, has allowed them to build up their arm strength, et cetera. And hopefully they've got a cheat code for keeping their pitchers healthy, because if they aren't, things could go south in a hurry.
Yeah, they could. Now, you do have, it feels like, I know Logan Evans had a rough first opener here, a rough inning, but it feels like you also have a few pieces that are kind of like Bryce and Woo were a couple years ago.
But if Brandon Garcia's moving to the bullpen and Logan Evans, I mean, they're the two. So
Emerson's a pro. He's an absolute pro.
I love Emerson. I'm a fan, and he pitched yesterday, looked okay in his first start. I was out there to watch that. So, again, you got to maintain health. You've done it for the last few years. You can withstand a little bit, but if you have, like what happened to the Dodgers last year, you're not in a position to deal with that at all.
And that's the foundation of this whole thing.
That's right. And so let's get to the last one, and that is the kids, Brock. Where are they? Or maybe more appropriately, when are they? When are they going to be ready? Was out there yesterday, as I said, and saw Colt Emerson and Cole Young both in that game. Cole's got a little something, so he is just DHing right now. He's not playing the field.
Cole Young, right? Little sore arm, soggy
so
arm.
He's DHing. And it was great to see him come up with a nice base hit. Not as great to see him get picked off first base. Emerson didn't do much at the plate yesterday, but, man, he looks the part. Like, he walks in and you're like, okay, that's a dude right there.
There's a lot of running backs and strong safeties around here now.
He could be.
You used to be a bunch of kickers and punters around this place. Now we got a lot of strong safeties and running backs and tight ends. Laz Montez.
Laz Montez is a big dude.
Yes, he is.
Real big. Tall, too. I didn't realize he was that tall.
Can I ask you one quick thing about these kids? I know we're going to run here in just a second. Why isn't Williamson ever...
Well, he's on my list.
Why isn't he lumped in?
Because he's older.
older than Cole Young even?
Yeah, he's 24, 25 this year. I mean, he's an older player because I think he's a college player.
Gotcha.
As opposed to those other guys who are all high school kids.
And he's not like an amazing plus trait other than plus defender.
Yeah, he's got that one plus
defender.
Tell you what, though, man, every time I watch him play, he hits.
Yeah.
That was a lot true last year in spring training.
Oh.
It was certainly true yesterday as he had a couple of hits and roped one of them. Yeah, he's on my list of people that I'm very curious about.
You gotta watch
I got a
him,
big watch on
Yes,
Ben
you
Williamson,
do.
especially because the Mariners don't really have their third base position all that set.
Right.
So, yeah, he's going to be very much on my watch list. So you can get some more details on all of those storylines, but that's what we'll be looking for and watching for here this spring, and you can read it all at seattlesports.com. All right, Brock. You want some observations? You want me to go deep into what we got to see yesterday?
Wow. Not takeaways.
Not takeaways.
We're not doing spring training takeaways.
Tidbits?
We can't do that.
They might be tidbits.
Tidbits. Let's do tidbits.
They're just little tidbits.
Everyday tidbits.
They're next. I'm Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
Clint Kubiak, your brand new OC, joining us right now in studio. What were some of the weapons here you were most intrigued by, or maybe you kind of started thinking once you knew you got the job, like,
obviously it starts with the quarterback. Really impressed with Gino, DK, Jax, Noah Fant. There's a lot of pieces to be excited about, but there's also going to be some new pieces we add to the roster. That's the really fun part of coaching is getting to be a part of guys' careers.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I've always said, the car sales in the 1980s and 1990s, earned the rep that we have today. The concerns that consumers have because of what has happened in our industry in the past, they're warranted. It's our job to show them that that's not how business is done anymore, right? It's very different business. It's much more transparent. There's much more information that's available to people. And we're much more customer focused than I think the car industry was, 20, 30 years ago. I'm more focused on providing good customer service and relationships because I think if you take care of people, money will always come. So I think just the philosophy and the focus for us has changed, where I was constantly chasing a paycheck and now I'm just constantly trying to take care of customers and employees because I know if I do that, then my paycheck will take care of itself.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The Goose Pub and Eatery supports all uniformed personnel and healthcare providers working hard to keep us safe. These heroic men and women spend long hours away from home, protecting our freedom and providing critical medical care. Please thank them for their many sacrifices and putting their lives on the line for us every day. A heartfelt thank you from the entire team at the Goose Pub and Eatery, your local hangout for great spirits, food, and fun. Family owned since 1982. Online at thegoosepub.com.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/choice55 to learn more. With AutoPay plus taxes and fees, plus $5 per line without AutoPay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. Motorola Edge on us with 24 monthly bill credits and new line for well-qualified customers, plus tax and $35 per line connection charge. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get his freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewert is my hero.
Jay Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to accuse you of murder.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewert and Mike Salk.
Hello!
Well, the sweatshirts come off, Brock. It's time. The sun is starting to do its thing here in Arizona. It is nice and toasty, and it's going to be about 30 degrees warmer by the end of the day. So we'll try not to rub it in too much, but I'll admit I'm probably going to rub it in a fair amount.
Mm-hmm.
Just how it is.
Yeah, I was looking at the weather up in Seattle. Oh, a little gray, a little rainy,
a little rainy,
chilly.
A little rainy
Definitely
yesterday.
not mid-80s.
Yeah,
and
no,
sunny.
definitely not.
No.
Sorry to tell everybody about it. Please don't turn us off out of anger or frustration or anything like that. It is cool being down here and just watching the guys walk in. Emerson Hancock just walked by us a couple minutes ago. You're right. He does look a little bit like a taller Jerry Dipoto. Like he's got a little Dipoto look to him. And we're going to talk to Justin Hollander, Mariners general manager, a little bit later this morning at 8:30. We're working on Bryce Miller. We got a little scheduling conflict. Either he'll join us at 8 or somebody else from the pitching staff at 7:30. So we're kind of we're being a little flexible here
fluid
on day one to just make
A
sure.
little free and easy, so a little free and easy.
We're
with
all
the
just
schedule.
free and easy. So I got over yesterday to the game, which was great, and a few things jumped out just watching one spring training game. The first is obviously and it's too bad Lyle's not here to talk about it. The challenge system is in effect, and it didn't take more than a couple batters for somebody to challenge a pitch. So a few things on it. One, it does not take much time. It's very easy, very well done, very unobtrusive.
Very tennis-like.
It is very
when
much
they
like
challenge in tennis, and all of a sudden they show the ball, like it takes 5-10 seconds,
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not obtrusive.
Very tennis.
It's very not obtrusive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I like the umpire having to announce it though.
He did.
Yeah, it just look. The umpires made a mistake. Their job is incredibly hard. I don't, especially calling balls and strikes at 98 miles an hour. I don't feel the need to embarrass them.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could just say, just have him make a motion, see the challenge, and then move on. Like, I don't need an announcement.
Right.
The poor umpire has to be like, the pitch was called a strike. They are challenging it. And then come back and be like, after the challenge, it is a ball. And you're like, all right. Like, I don't think he really needs to announce that to everybody. We can all see it on the screen.
Yep.
So maybe they'll mess with that a little bit. I also stand by what I said last week about this, which is that eventually I think the only players that will be allowed to actually challenge by their managers will be the catchers. The pitchers, and especially the hitters, they just can't see it as well. and they're too emotional about it. The catcher is in the best position to really know what is a ball and what is a strike. And the catcher's got them all right.
I was flying,
and the batters and pitchers did not.
I was flying down last night, and the Timberwolves and OKC game was the only live programming on my late flight, which was further delayed for biohazard reasons. Don't need to get into any of that. But the number of times, Salk, in the NBA, you'll see the players look over to their coach, want to foul. Like he wants a replay or whatever. Like 4 times in the game.
Right.
Like in real time, like the player's like, come on, coach.
Coach just rolling their eyes.
Yes. And the coach, like, looks at the replay like, sorry, dude. Like, no. I know in the heat of the moment.
You're not going to have the ability to look at a replay first on this. It's got to be instant.
Bang, bang.
So it's not like challenging a play at first where the manager looks into the clubhouse and somebody says to him, oh, no, it's definitely challenge it, and he does the earmuffs thing. No, it's got to be instant. The batters they don't know. They just don't know. I'm sorry, they just don't. And I think the same is going to be basically true of the pitchers. And so I personally, if I were the manager, would tell almost everyone, like, yeah, unless you've got a perfect record as an unbelievable eye, the catcher's going to be.
Did Randy challenge one yesterday?
Yeah. He got it wrong. And he got it wrong by like a foot. I mean, like, now there was a batter challenge that was off, that honestly I think it was missed by like 6 inches.
Yes.
Like, it was a good challenge.
Okay.
But I think unless you are absolutely 100% positive, I think they should really be from the catchers and nobody else. All right, I know the results don't mean anything from down here, but we talked briefly about him earlier. Seeing Mitch Garver rip a couple of hits, that was good. It was nice to see them lay out 17 hits, 11 runs. It was great to see Bliss knock one over the center fielder's head. It was great to see Cal and Locklear, and you mentioned Ben Williamson, Brock. I don't think you're going to be able to ignore him. He's, by all accounts, like Brooks Robinson at third base in terms of the fielding, and he sure.
Is that who little Ricky Reyes was talking about with you?
Yeah, I was asking Rick about him. Apparently, like every time I see him, he can hit. I know that there's no projection on that. Nobody seems to think that he could come up right away and be a big league, legit bat. But every time I watch him down here, he sure looks pretty comfortable. And he's older than all the other young kids. He's like 24.
I may be wrong on this, but I think Mr. Rojas's defense helped save some runs. I think being an incredibly good, productive third baseman with a really elite pitching staff usually is some peanut butter and jelly there as I'm looking up at Mr. Seager on that wall up there, who was a Gold Glover. And I know that Rojas last year kind of got hosed with that, didn't have a name, didn't have the offense and whatever, but his defensive metrics were every bit a Gold Glove.
There's nothing right now not to like about Ben Williamson. No. Young player, he's been in the organization a few years. He's older. He's like the one guy other than Cole Young that's actually like AAA big league ready. He's not like a no chance this year type of guy like Emerson or Montez or something. Like he's just about there. He's 24. He's age appropriate to come up to the big leagues. I got my eye on him, especially if Jorge Polanco isn't able to go full speed right now. So I got to get a little more info on this, but Eric Young Jr. is the new first base coach.
Okay.
So Manny Acta has been moved to bench coach. Christopher Negron moved across the diamond to third. And now you've got a new first base coach.
You were very enamored with this.
Well, I've never seen anything like it. And I may have to
caught your eye.
Well, you couldn't miss it.
Okay.
First base coaches usually are standing over at first base waiting for somebody to hand them a bunch of equipment, right? They've essentially become the equipment holder for all of the gear that the batters wear and have to take off over at first base. EY Jr. was like, he was in like a sprinter stance, like ready to steal second as soon as there was someone on base. So I don't know if he's helping to time the pitcher or what, but it is on my list of questions to ask while we're here and try to figure out what the heck is going on there.
Yeah.
You ever seen that?
He's young, so he's young.
He's Eric Young.
He'll learn.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, maybe that's just a spring training thing. Maybe he'll give that up as time goes on. But as of now, I'm really interested in what's going on with the first base coach. It's a minor one, and I know you'll love it too. It's just seeing after Emerson Hancock was done yesterday, all of the starting pitchers exit together, and they're all tall. They all kind of look alike in that way. So they're all sort of like lope off together, like a bunch of herd of giraffes or something, just all leaving together. And even just a moment ago, we saw George Kirby and Bryan Woo walk in together. That group is tight.
Yes.
And Hancock told us about it last week, but it's it's really obvious when you see them together.
Yeah, again, a lot of continuity, some of that connective tissue. It's one of the positives when you come up together, right, as a class, when you keep your guys in school together, when you draft and develop together, and they kind of just grow up together. And it seems like, right, and we talked about this a lot last year, and I'm sure we'll get into it with Bryce or Woo, one of the fellas going to join us today. It really does feel like they're different enough, right, that they're not birds of the same feather that all flock together.
Yeah, there's just enough similarity and just enough difference.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you're right. And I will say there are things in sports that will sometimes look forced. You can tell when there's genuine affection.
Oh, yeah.
I really get the sense there is genuine affection for each other, respect for each other. They like being together. They like working together. I think they like competing a little bit against each other, and they do it in a fun way rather than a jealous way. It's just really impressive to kind of see
a New Yorker, a Floridian, a Texan, a Bay Area dude, and a Dominican. Like they're from all corners of the country and out of the country, and they really do. They seem to get along, and they're the foundation of this whole operation.
Last one, and I mentioned it earlier, we talked through it, but just seeing some of the young guys out there, Cole Young, Colt Emerson. I mentioned Young at a single. He ended up getting picked off, so I'm sure he wasn't happy about his day. Emerson, he just looks like a dude, Brock. You see that thigh, those thighs, that butt. I'll be impressed if he can stay at short long term. If he really fills out and really grows into that frame, I don't mean to go buff dude report. I know that's your job, but he looks like he's going to be a third baseman eventually. But if he could stay at short, man, is that a weapon.
Yeah, the caliber of athleticism and in the sport has really grown over the last couple decades of doing this. And in this organization that is a draft and develop, and they've hit on this draft so well. And they were a top farm system, and they replenish, and they're a top farm system. And you get that way because you have unique, skilled, different looking dudes that are you know, some really elite athletes.
Yeah, there really are. There's some freaky athletes out here.
There are.
And if Colt Emerson is one of them, as he's supposed to be, and he can actually stay at short, man, that's going to be a pretty fun experience. Hey, I want to let you guys know, in partnership with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health and Nick of Time Foundation, the Seahawks are hosting the second annual free youth heart screening test event at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center in Renton on Saturday, March 8th. It's a public event providing screenings for youth ages 12 to 24 in hopes of detecting heart abnormalities and giving them the knowledge and care they need. Detecting heart conditions early is key, and a simple heart screening could save a life, Brock. So don't wait. Spots are limited. Register today at vmfh.org/Seahawks. You got all that?
I do.
Good. That's nice to hear. No Bryce Miller today. Just received word. Tomorrow is a lighter day for Bryce.
Okay.
So Bryce is going to join us tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm going to get an update here momentarily on what we might be able to expect a little later today. But hopefully one of his pitching
Hollander
buddies.
for sure today.
Hollander for sure at 8:30, and more details to come after we give you everything you need to know next.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
We've been going position group by position group. We move on to safeties, Dave. So you got Julian Love, who's entering the first year of a 3-year extension. He had a great season. You got Kobe Bryant in the final year of his rookie deal. Rayshon Jenkins is the most likely cap casualty here because he's got a $7.9 million cap hit. And if they release him, they save $5.4 million. He had some plays, but he didn't have $7.9 million cap hit plays. I agree.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messingthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years!
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five!
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
It's the granddaddy of them all, the Seattle RV Show, March 6th through 9 at Lumen Field Event Center. Hundreds of new models, over 1,000 floor plan options from over 50 manufacturers. It's your best chance to save all year. Tickets at SeattleRVShow.com, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
It's time to go all in at Toyota of Kirkland. All in on the largest savings opportunities on the largest inventory of Tacomas, Tundras, Prius, and the BZ4X. The incredible team at Toyota of Kirkland is all in on your car buying experience. They'll set you up with a test drive and you can take that car home on the same day. Come on down to Toyota of Kirkland and get all in on the best deals with the best inventory. Check out their wonderful showroom today or go all in online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien. We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
This is Matt Coker from West Coast Men's Health. Has Viagra stopped working for you? Do you hate the side effects? If you've taken Viagra for any length of time, you already know that pills are not the solution to ED. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. No pills, no shots, no surgery. We can also treat Peyronie's disease. Our non-invasive treatment for ED is painless and highly effective. We have treated thousands of men just like you. Stop living with this problem and do something about it. Do yourself a favor, do your partner a favor, and call us today.
Call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and financing available.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Fun to watch a blowout win yesterday, Brock, as the Mariners' bats came to play. A barrage of 17 hits leading to 11 runs. You saw Ryan Bliss with a big RBI double. Locklear had a really good day with a 2-run double. Cut 3. Young Ben Williamson, man, eyes on him. 2 hits, couple of driven in, including this one.
Ben Williamson, his first at bat of the day. There goes Ryan to third, swinging a ground ball up the middle. That's going to sneak in for a base hit. Bliss rounding third. He's going to score. Ben Williamson with a slow roller, wide open on the left side as the shortstop Perdomo went to his right with Bliss running to third. So Williamson with a base hit into center field, drives in a run, and it's now the Mariners 4 and the Diamondbacks 1. How about this inning for the Mariners?
Sorry, Ricky. The other one was a little harder hit, but that one was one of those plays, Brock, that I know you're going to like, where the shortstop vacates the spot, and he hit the ball right to where the shortstop had just been.
You're talking about a second-round pick.
I know.
I mean, he's not a come-out-of-nowhere kind of guy.
But he's a second-round pick out of college, right?
He was, out of William and Mary.
Right, meaning he's a lot closer to being ready than some of the first and second-rounders who are high school kids.
That's right. He'll be 25 in November this year, so kind of that age, 24, 25. Where you're coming out of college, you're a second-round pick, you have a plus trait as a defender. Yeah, and just kind of hope that bat does come to life a little bit.
Relievers, Emerson Hancock started the game. Looked good for his first outing. Not incredible, but good. Nice, clean innings in relief from your guy, Legumina. That's Legumina.
Legumina.
Let's make sure we pronounce that right. And there is a little Paul Sewald to that, that's for sure.
Yes, there's a lot.
Little sling to the delivery. And then this Fujinami guy throwing 98 with a couple of strikeouts yesterday. That caught Dan Wilson's eye, cut 6.
The strike throwing ability, I thought Fujinami threw the ball really, really well today. Lots of good fastballs, had a good slider. But everybody up and down, I thought, threw the ball very well. We got ahead early, and they were just able to lock it down, just continuing to throw strikes.
You know, it's key, Salk. You don't ever want to start 0-3 in the spring training. So the stats will tell you that. The numbers bear that out. You really don't want to start 0-3. So nice to get in the win column.
All right. Well, they'll be back at it today. Logan Gilbert starting against
Down in
Milwaukee.
Glendale, is that right? Glendale?
So he goes today, Luis Castillo tomorrow. Is that something that we should take notice of? It's at least on my radar. Maybe a sign.
Are you going to ask Woo about that?
Just a sign of things to come.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Mora's going to be in some trouble a little bit later. We'll get to that. She's very embarrassing.
Mora, we cause enough trouble.
Usually Brock is the embarrassing one.
We need you to be dialed in.
This is appropriate. I did something embarrassing. I'm sorry, guys.
We'll get to that a little bit later. Jorge Polanco is
him.
Not full go just yet. Apparently that will be happening soon. Probably not concerned, but again, off-season knee surgery, part of the auspice on which he was signed is that he's healthy and is going to be healthier than last year. So maybe just a little something
watch.
to note.
He was doing some third base work I saw the other day on some video. So that I think they're going to very, very, very much slow play.
And then Donovan Solano did arrive in camp after some visa issues, kept him out for the first couple days. Shannon says he looks taller than 5'8", but again, that's a short first baseman.
Is Divish 5'8"?
That sounds about right.
Is he about 5'8"?
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems about right.
So we can use him as a kind of a gauge?
I think so.
And Ricky? What about Ricky?
That seems about right for him, too. Yeah, although I would say Ricky and Ryan built differently. We got the debut of another pitch, and we can ask Bryan Woo about this one. Apparently, Andres Munoz has a changeup that Matt Brash said
was the sickest pitch he's ever seen in real time.
So we'll see whether that remains the talk of camp. Cal said he'd call it, so if it's out there, it could get called at any moment.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Let's see. Kraken win on the road against a very good Florida team on Saturday. That was great. They got Jordan Eberle back, the captain, who I really think they've missed, especially the leadership. That captain position is meaningful in hockey, and for him to have been out as long as he was, good to have him back. McCann got a goal. Capocacco got a goal. And then it did not translate to yesterday as they got beat pretty badly 4-1 by...
Rookie goaltender?
Yeah, Alistechka. He's up for the ineffective Philip Grubauer. Made his debut and gave up a 4 spot. So not what you're looking for, but your guy Shane Wright had another goal, Brock. He has had a pretty decent little run here going.
Warming up.
A couple days away from the start of the Combine.
We are. I got 3 guys here in Blue 88 that I'm going to keep my eye on. But what will be nice for us is we will get to hear not only from John Schneider with Wyman and Bob as we get to in the stretch leading up to the draft. Get to hear from John tomorrow and then Mike McDonald on Wednesday. Something he didn't do last year. Remember, he was playing catch-up at this time of year, trying to put his staff together and everything else. So he'll have his turn at the old lectern in Indianapolis, and we'll get good sound from both those guys this week.
All right, that is everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour, even as we are here at spring training. Oh, there's Victor Robles walking around with his kind of, Shannon, I think you nailed it, copper. It's not quite blonde. Copper is a good call on the hair for Robles.
You okay with the bunting competition?
Am I okay with it?
I think they do that in the Japan League, right? All-Star game, they do a bunting competition.
If you're going to bunt, better practice it.
Practice it, yeah.
Oh, and you're right on cue.
Oh, boy.
Walk the marine layer, guys. Lyle and TJ just in time for the bunting competition.
Legs for days.
I'm sure they're going to be excited. Lyle's got the short shorts.
Yep.
And
do you
actually, TJ's might even be shorter.
Do you think Lyle came out just like to kind of rub this in Mora's face a little bit?
Yeah.
Like, Mora, you did what?
Yeah.
What did you just do?
Let me set up the next hour or so for you guys because it's going to be a little different.
He just woke up and got here. He doesn't know what I did.
He's going to want some sunglasses, I tell you that, because he looks like he's in bad shape. He's struggling with the sun. Okay, moving some things around. Brock, we're going to do Blue 88 next at 7:30. Bryan Woo is going to join us at 7:40.
Okay.
And so we'll have some time with Mariners pitcher Bryan Woo, who's standing in for Bryce Miller, who's now going to join us tomorrow.
Sheesh.
At 8 o'clock, Shannon's going to be here. She's actually here right now hanging out, but she will come join us on the air at 8 o'clock.
All right.
And then at 8:30, Justin Hollander is going to join us.
Hollander.
Not
No.
Ryan? I just want to
Not
make sure we get
Ryan.
the name right. Maura, what's
No.
his name again?
Yeah.
Yeah, more on that to
hate
come.
you guys.
Oh,
Maura.
that's sad. Maura hates us already. We'll be back with Blue 88 and Bryan Woo next on Brock and Salk.
4 down territory. Going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What part of football has changed, and do you like it?
2-point conversions. Like, we are chasing points. The game has changed. 2-point conversions and 4th downs. So we're seeing coaches dive into the data like a lot of people do with baseball. And I like it, and it is weird at the same time because I'm not used to seeing these 4th down conversions or attempts and these 2-point conversions.
4 down territory. Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
All right, you guys, we're here at spring training where statistics are a big deal, right? So let's talk about the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, where the state of Washington ranks number 4 in the whole country, number 4 in the highest concentration of roofers. There's literally thousands of roofers to choose from in our area. So how do you pick the right one? Well, you got to use process of elimination. Everybody knows that. So get rid of anyone who's not GAF Master Elite certified. That'll take care of 97%. Now that you're down to the Elite 3%, how many have over 35 years of experience? How many utilize the catch-all system to keep your yard and driveway clear of debris? How many are family-owned? How many have local roots and have the stamp of approval from the Salk household? Yep, you're down to 1, the roofing company you can trust, Riverside Roofing. In a sea of thousands of competitors, Riverside always stands out, and guess what? They got openings this winter for your roof project. Have them out to your house this week. Call 425-949-8252. Or you can always go to riversideroofingllc.com and find the roofing company you can trust.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we are committed to giving you quality workmanship and white glove service that exceed your expectations. Get our exclusive leak armor installation backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, Buc-ee's has you covered with available financing. For oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance, it's Buc-ee's Complete Auto. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Buc-ee's.com for the location near you.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. The season's first tryout for adults ages 18 to 65 and older is this Sunday, March 2nd at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then You spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Washington State ranks number 5 in the country for auto theft. The most high-risk vehicles are Kia, Hyundai, Ford F-150, F-250, and F-350. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
The Cantina at Silver Reef is an experience for your senses. The smells, the sounds, the flavors is a night you deserve. Experience the experience at the Cantina at Silver Reef today. Serving traditionally inspired dishes made with the finest authentic ingredients. This is one experience that you can enjoy more than once in a lifetime. Experience it today at Silver Reef Casino Resort in Ferndale, Washington. And visit our website, silverreefcasino.com, to check out our menu.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Exciting personal news. I happen to be driving a brand new Bronco Sport from Wayscar Ford. The bad news is I spent way longer than I anticipated at the dealership because I truly couldn't decide. It's not my fault. They have so many options at amazing prices. Mark, what gives?
Well, we have a lot of inventory right now, Stacy, and they're priced to sell. Compare our prices to our competitors. Make sure that you check out what rebates that the dealers are putting on their pricing, because you probably won't qualify for a lot of them. The rebates we have online on our prices are ones that everybody qualifies for. We don't play games, there's no gimmicks, and there's absolutely no pressure, and it's all backed up by a 5-day or a 500-mile, 100% money-back guarantee. And our new cars come with a lifetime powertrain coverage. Buy with confidence. We'd love to see you.
So wayscarford.com. Again, those prices are for real, like Mark said. And I'm really glad I did it. It was worth the trip to go out there. Your staff was so incredibly nice, knowledgeable, and accommodating. That's Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Wayscarford.com.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we are mixing things up a little bit in order to make it work at spring training. Bryan Woo's going to join us in 10 minutes. We will have Shannon Drayer with us at 8 o'clock, and then at 8:30, Mariners GM Justin Hollander will make what I believe is his first ever appearance on the show. So that should be fun. Just looking around, you just see lots of people. I see Michael Saunders walking around, who we got a chance to chat with earlier.
Who you called old?
Well, I'm not saying he's old. I was shocked by the lack of hair.
He fired it.
He fired it.
He fired it before it quit.
Got kind of that Tim Hasselbeck
3
thing
kids.
going on now. We just chatted with Cal for a few minutes, who will join us at some point this week, and was talking challenge system and other stuff with Cal, so that'll be kind of fun. And, so everybody's here. It's great. It's cool just kind of seeing the gang all get together.
What do you think about the whole new, picnic setup?
I like it.
I do, too.
Yeah, I'm hoping some guys will come hang out at the Adirondack chairs by us.
Better than the basketball hoop that was throwing basketballs into us every single show last year with the 3-point shooting.
I feel like we're now right in the middle of everything, which is great. It puts us in the way.
You like the attention.
But also means that it's a little easier to just kind of feel like a part of everything. Yep. So we're going to do a little early edition for all you football fans of Blue 88.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
We take you to the field as Brock Ewart breaks down 3 football questions as only he can.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
All right, 3 good football questions for Brock. We will start with this one. Combine starts Thursday in Indy.
Yes, it does.
Give me 3 players that you are going to be watching to see how they perform.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the big fellas early, and I'm going to watch a lot of them. Probably more of a commitment.
On both sides of the ball?
No, more of the offensive line. I'll give you the 3. It is the big kid out of Missouri, Armand Membu. It is the big kid out of Alabama, Tyler Booker. And it's the kid that Daniel Jeremiah, our buddy, who's going to join us here through the month of April into and after the draft. Gray Zabel, the center guard tackle out of North Dakota State. 3 distinct stories, Salk. Molly and I were watching our daughter this weekend. Good Pokes win. Unbelievable season they're having. Going to go to the tourney. It's just great. And I was just talking about, gosh, some of these girls on the team we were playing. And you could see their parents. And I'm like, how could you recruit? If you know that's the genetic makeup, you got to be a little careful in kind of the recruiting and development and projection game. Like, that's going to be a really hard fit at this level. And when I now look at these guys, Salk, I don't just look at them in real time. I don't just look at them from my experience with them. I kind of go back and look at where they're from as well. I think that matters. Tyler Booker, your kind of guy from Connecticut. What do we think of the St. Luke's school?
He went to St. Luke's?
He went to St. Luke's before he went to IMG. So started up in the Northeast, got that background, the private school. Then he goes to IMG, 4-star kid, and
we used to play baseball against St. Luke's.
Did he play against St. Luke's?
Yeah.
I thought you'd like that. New Canaan, Connecticut, up there, St. Luke's. So got some of that background, and by all accounts, New Canaan.
I'm just kidding. No, it's New Canaan.
Thank you. Did not think it was New Canaan. How dare you do that to me on a Monday morning?
Sorry, that's my bad.
I'm just kind of anxious to see. He's big now. He's carried 400 pounds big. He's carried 350, played at 350 big. Kind of curious to see how all that's put together. Same with Armand Membu. He was on Bruce Feldman's freaks list going into this year.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly a 650-pound squat, supposedly 20 miles an hour. But the combine, it gets real, right? Those numbers don't get inflated there. If anything, they get deflated. So very curious how he is athletically, and same probably the most with Gray Zabel. 2-star recruit out of South Dakota, stayed at North Dakota State, All-American, as was Booker. But those 3, I'm not getting away from the biggest need on this team, interior offensive line, and those are 3 distinctly different backgrounds, but distinctly talented guys.
Tomorrow I'm going to ask you about D-line and edge. Question number 2. Ben Solak, Brock, not Zolak. That's Scott Zolak.
Yes.
You're confusing him with Ben Solak.
Solak with an S.
Was on last week, I think, with
Bump and Stace?
Bump and Stacy?
I think it was Bump and Stacy.
Feels like a Bump and
It was
Stacy,
Bump
I
and
guess. That
Stacy.
feels right.
Yeah.
He made a point about Geno, and I'm curious if you agree with him. Here was Ben Solak.
We talk about, Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold and some of these reclamation projects, and I brought up the elite receivers that they played with. Geno was doing it with DK and Tyler Lockett. Good receivers. I wouldn't go so far as to be like, oh, those are Mike Evans, Justin Jefferson caliber of players. These other guys also. Sam Darnold with Kevin O'Connell, Ryan Tannehill with Arthur Smith, Baker Mayfield with Liam Cohen, Dave Canales. All these guys have gone on to get head coaching jobs. Geno's OC got fired, right? Shane Waldron, they moved on from Shane Waldron, but Ryan Grubb comes in. Now they got to move on from him again. What Geno has done in his reclamation it has been remarkably more challenging. It has been a much bigger uphill battle than it was for any of the other guys. And I think we can confidently say he has been reclaimed. He clearly is a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. So if we fix the line, if we get an offensive coordinator in the building who's got maybe a little bit more gas in his arm, I don't even think we've seen the finished product of Geno the way we've probably seen the ceiling on Baker Mayfield, seen the ceiling on Jared Goff. We know what the ceiling was with Ryan Tannehill back in the early 2020s.
You buying it?
You know what's unique about that argument? And Solak, you know how he came to fame here the last month. He was the guy that ripped Josh Allen for not just throwing the check down. It's so easy. And all these NFL QBs were like, dude, shut your mouth.
Oh, really?
Don't ever say something is so easy. You should have seen this blitz, so easy guy in his face. Oh, yeah, it was really good. Created quite a stir. But you know what's unique about that take? He didn't even mention the O-line. I honestly thought that a lot of that was going to be built upon the pressure weight and how quickly he gets pressure in his face and all of the next level metrics that point to the offensive line has been, not just to our eyes, You want to talk about next level and baseball savant numbers. Everything is pointed to the trouble there. He didn't even point to that. He pointed to the change of coordinators, the instability there, points to a DK and Tyler being good but not great, what some of these other guys have. You throw those little arguments into the mix with the offensive line, maybe that's a conversation for the weeks to come. How much more ceiling does Geno have? Does he have another step? Is there a little more tick up? I think we know the floor, and the floor is very high. He's a very good starting quarterback. So that makes a pretty good, strong argument right there. There's more.
All right, question number 3. Speaking of Geno and DK, how polarizing are they really? Wyman and Bob asked John Schneider that question on Thursday during the John Schneider show.
I guess I'm not really aware of that. I mean, the quarterback of your football team is always going to be the most polarizing, probably, right? Sure. And then, DK's so talented and explosive and such on TV and commercials and stuff, right? So, yeah I could see that. DK, was injured, and then, we kind of struggled offensively there for a minute, and he didn't get quite as many targets. He probably should have. But and then, I thought Geno, especially, playing through the injury there at the end. I mean, it really sucked it up.
It really is so different, Salk. As we were chatting with, and it was fun conversation there with Cal Raleigh a few minutes ago during break about just the optics of things, the optics of playing the game as a catcher, the optics of playing as a pitcher, the optics is when you're in the batter's box, the optics for a talent acquisition guy like John Schneider versus you and me and Maura and Justin and everybody else. For him, the only thing polarizing is the value. You want to talk about there's nothing polarizing to him about their talent, right? About their makeup, about their playmaking ability, about their execution and production. The only polarizing factor, if there is one for John Schneider and management there, is okay. So let's see where your agents come in. When I get to Indy this week, let's see how reasonable we can be as we start this conversation and dig into the number, because that's the only thing that can be polarizing. I think you hear from John Schneider very clearly. Talent, productivity, nothing polarizing about these guys. Can we get them at the value that is most favorable for us? Therein maybe is some of the polarization of the conversation.
I like when people pretend like they don't know.
Right.
John's out polarizing. What do you mean? I never heard of that.
I don't pay any attention.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. That is today's Blue 88, little early version, as Bryan Woo is going to come over here in just a moment or two, and we will chat with him. Was that Fujinami that we just saw standing over here?
Will you two get your names right, for crying out loud?
Right. Relax. Was that Fujinami?
I think it had to be.
He's
a big guy.
He is gigantic.
Yes.
I did not realize. Hey, Tucker.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that he was
6'4".
big.
Yep.
That is a tall, lanky relief pitcher. That's what a relief pitcher looks like in 2025.
98-mile-an-hour throwing, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of these relievers, Salk, most of these guys, not all of them. Brash is a little bit slighter of frame, but most of them, to throw as hard as they do, usually have pretty long levers.
Yeah. It's a big dude.
Or they have gigantic thighs.
Yeah, and he seems like he's got a little of both of that. All right, let's do this. It's nice that this pitching staff, they're all so close that when Bryce Miller ends up bailing on us last minute, he'll join us tomorrow. We get a stand-in, and it's none other than Bryan Woo, who comes by to say hi. Brian, how are you?
How are we doing, guys?
We're doing pretty good.
What's that smile for?
I just like the Bryce bashing first thing in the morning.
Do you?
We're not bashing. He said he would do it tomorrow. He had a busier day.
I'm bashing.
You're bashing?
Yeah.
Kind of don't blame you.
It's like it's an all-day thing.
You guys.
It's early in the morning all the way to the end.
I don't mean to get cheesy kind of right off the bat, but you guys kind of all really like each other, don't you?
Yeah, except for Bryce. Everyone else is
Birds of a feather flock together, opposites attract. When I look at you guys, it's a Bay Area boy, it's a Florida boy, it's an Arkansas, Texarkana boy, it's a New Yorker, and it's a Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
I mean, really, all corners
You've got it all.
Yeah.
Well, and then Emerson's backwoods Georgia, right?
Whoa. Why has he got to be backwoods?
I asked him.
Southern Georgia.
He said he was from a very small town in Georgia.
We call that Southern Georgia.
All right, you call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it backwoods Georgia.
Country Georgia,
I just call that Georgia.
It's not Atlanta. That's what I guess.
How big a deal, though, that you all come from some different places and yet all kind of come together to build the foundation of this thing?
Yeah, I think, like you said, I think the chemistry behind the scenes is definitely has a lot to do with it. We get along super well. We love spending time with each other on and off the field. in the dugouts. All the time that we have before games, catch, bullpens, all that stuff. Like, everybody's super talented on the field, but everybody's personality and the way that they, their drive and how competitive they are, it's all healthy, and it's all just wanting to help each other and also, be the best that they can be for the team. So it's a dual role, but I think everybody, does it really well.
You visit with any of those guys in the off season? You can go fishing with Luis or anything?
I didn't get the invite to fishing this year. I'm hoping maybe next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard
you
a lot.
You need to have a better.
I've
year.
heard a lot about the boat. I've heard a lot about how amazing of a fisherman Louis is.
Do you have any concern that he named the boat the Rock? Rocks are pretty known for sinking. That seems like a terrible name.
They're also
for a
named
boat.
for being steady and anchored.
I think they're great for a lot of nicknames, but not a boat.
Maybe not the boat.
Boats specifically, you want to stay afloat.
No. If there's one thing I'm not going to question, it's Louis doing his fishing.
Yeah,
he seems like he's got it pretty dialed in.
Do any of you guys visit though? Do you find a way or stay in touch throughout the off season?
We stay in touch throughout the off season. I know that a couple of guys will run into each other if they're on the same coast. But us being pretty spread out, it's tough. I don't, go. I'm not going to Florida or Texas anytime soon unless
not shooting Gopher Prairie Dogs.
Unless I've told Bryce I want to go to an A&M game. I've told Em I want to go to a Georgia game.
Yeah.
I want to experience like some real SEC football. But besides that, we haven't. But I mean, weddings and stuff, you kind of run into each other. Off season things. But maybe we'll have to. Maybe we'll have to get some going for next year.
Do you kind of shut it down in the off season and just get like super chill mode, or like what is your off season?
Yeah, I like to get away, relax, a lot of golfing, beach, be with family, friends. I'm not running around too much. Obviously, you travel around. I try to go see family, East Coast and whatnot. My sister lives in Hawaii. My grandma's in South Carolina. It's covering, all over the place. But no, it's mostly just relaxing, enjoying my downtime, enjoying being with family and friends that you don't really get that time during season.
You don't miss leg day very often, though, huh?
Yeah, you don't take too many weeks off of working out, but it's all kind of blends together.
It is interesting. Everybody always talks about the arm mechanics, right, and the arm angles and the measurements of this and where the ball's released and all that fun stuff. But for you especially, I mean, it starts at the ground level, does it not, with your legs?
Yeah, it's a lot of legs, stability, core. I think it's not as much super heavy lifting that you might think. It's a lot of lower body stuff and stability. It's a lot of core strength. It's a lot of, the upper half is a lot of like maintenance, shoulders, mobility, things like that. We're still pushing weight, but it's all kind of making sure that it's all functional towards, pitching.
Talking to Bryan Woo, and we will get to this year in a moment, but I wanted to just jump back to last year. You get hurt a little bit to start the year. You finally get out there, and you're just absolutely on fire to start the season. When you're in a zone like that first however many starts, what is that confidence like when you're taking the mound every 5 days?
Yeah, I think it's it kind of goes back to just really buying into our pitching philosophy and you hear it all the time of the dominate the zone stuff and the counts and all that things, but it's really only as good as you make it personally. It's only as good as you buy into it, and so I chose to really commit to it last year, and especially missing the first part of the year, I knew what I was really focused on and working on as I was coming back in my rehab starts, and then so that when I did get back, I can kind of hit the ground running. So, I think when you're pitching as well as I was in the beginning of the year, it's really just like a simplistic plan. You're going out. You're not thinking about too much. You're just kind of going after guys and playing the game. And luckily, kind of things went my way for a little bit.
So I remember talking to you right before we came down last year. We talked on the phone, and one of the questions was, all right, what are you going to do to get better against lefties? And your answer to roughly quote you was, not that much. I'm just going to kind of do what I do, but better. And I remember talking to Brock afterwards and being like, kind of curious to see if that works. I mean, like righties and lefties are pretty different. Are you going to be able to Well, hell, man, look at these stats last year against righties versus lefties. They're almost identical. I mean, lefties had like 60 points more in OPS against you than righties, almost nothing for major league splits. It worked. You just had to be better at the things you were already doing.
Yeah, it's just kind of getting, it's the mentality of just getting a little bit better every day. It's not trying to make huge jumps or really change the core of who I am and how I pitch and all those things. It's just I knew the things that I needed to get better at and worked on them in the off season and, just kind of continue to get better at them every day. I think you try to make huge changes. You try to, some guys invent new pitches and come in, with all these fancy things. And for me, it's more as just do the little things at a high level and do those, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And that's kind of the way that I approach things, make them as simple as possible. And, if I can just look at the marginal, places that I can get better at. And obviously my first year was, splits. And but I knew in my head it wasn't that I was really doing a whole lot different. I was just making my at-bats against righties a lot simpler than I was making them against lefties. And I just had to, take that same approach into both. And so, yeah.
I think Daniel Kramer wrote a piece on Luis Castillo last week talking about Luis's individual goals every year when he comes into a season. Do you have individual goals as well?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, I think as soon as I kind of realized that baseball was a realistic goal and dream of being in the big leagues, I think you kind of think about those things. Cy Young, All-Star, whatever it is. So, yeah, I mean, I've got all those things, written down and locked away. I think at this point I'm a little bit more accepting of it may happen this year, it may happen in 5 years, whatever it is, but, they are goals. And if I can, accomplish them sooner, that's great. And if not, I'm just kind of taking my time and making sure that I'm still kind of getting better at the things that I can control. And you put together a year, day after day, and you look at the end of the year, and hopefully some of those things kind of come to fruition.
It's funny. I told you we thought Bryce was going to be here today, so I was looking at my notes, and basically a lot of the same questions apply to both of you guys. But I thought I would ask you this one. If you could improve in one of these stat categories, which would you take? And really more of an exercise on what you think is important for a pitcher.
This is coming from Baseball Savant?
No, it's not.
Oh,
this
it's
is not a savant.
Okay, he's our savant.
These are like the most simplistic stats
okay,
possible.
I apologize.
Would you rather improve in wins, strikeouts, innings pitched, quality starts, or ERA?
Oh, jeez.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
I'm probably either taking innings or quality starts. I think if you put together whatever you're top of the league in quality starts, you're a horse. If you're top of the in innings, you're a horse. I think obviously ERA and all that stuff and strikeouts, it's all important. But in terms of what we're trying to do as a team and my role in the staff and trying to get better at some things, I think improving the workload and getting those kind of workhorse type of stats up. That's one of my main goals is staying healthy, getting through 30 plus starts in a year and hopefully, up to like 200 plus innings. So
what does that look like for you in the off season or whatever? You're, by the end of last year, you were going deep into games much more often in the beginning of last year. What do you do to achieve more innings pitched over the course of a year?
I don't really think it's a whole lot else. I think honestly last year it was more of just a mentality of, understanding that I've put the work in to go deep into games and trusting that capacity is there. And then, going right after guys. I think being efficient during starts is obviously super important, making sure that, each outing, each at bat, each inning, whatever it is, that I'm going right after guys. I'm not playing around. You get into those, 20 plus pitch innings, and then those really add up. And then, now all of a sudden you're gone in the 5th or 6th instead of the 7th or after. So I think it all just comes down to kind of simplifying the game plan, going right after guys, and having that mentality of being a workhorse and going deep into games. It's kind of just flipping that switch a little bit.
If you could steal like a 7 wood, you see the guy won yesterday with a 7 wood.
I did see that, yeah.
If you could steal one pitch from anybody in this organization, starter, reliever, whatever you want, and you could steal and put that in your bag, what would be the one pitch you'd add?
Oh, boy.
After the other day, I think it might be Munoz's changeup.
I was going to say, I'm hearing a lot about this changeup. I still haven't seen it with my own eyes, but if it's as good as people are saying, that would be fun.
Is it Ichiro's fastball?
It would just be Ichiro's everything. I think I guarantee if he...
Hey, there he is.
If he trained to take one of our spots, he could probably do it pretty quickly, too.
Look at his calves.
Yeah.
60 years old.
I know.
Yeah.
It's really shocking.
It's
crazy. One pitch. Whose pitch would you steal?
I think having a splitter, I think like having a splitter type pitch would be really cool. Something that my changeup isn't pretty, like, it's still pretty hard. Usually you want changeups to be a little bit like softer, a lot of difference off your fastball, good dive. I think
Can you do that with your arm
pretty
angle?
fun. That's the thing is I don't know, low, it's kind of hard. Higher, it's easier. You get on top of the ball. You're getting through it. This way, it's harder to get, like, all the way around.
Yep.
So maybe, I don't know. That would be tough. Okay. But I really like my changeup. I think it's gotten a lot better, and it continues to get better, and my feel's gotten better with it. But having, like, something that's really sharp and really dives off, that would be kind of fun to work with.
Last thing for you, just because you mentioned your role, you used the phrase, my role in this pitching staff. What is that? What is your role in the pitching staff?
I think now it's kind of just continuing building off what I, was able to work into at the end of last year of just going deep into games, quality start after quality start, being, consistent, I think, in every 5 days. I think if you can, whether your really good starts are really good, but keeping your bad starts, not as bad, and being able to still go deep into games, whatever that is. I think watching, these other guys for the last couple of years, I think that's something that they've done incredibly well. Is even, their good starts are great, but their bad starts, they're still going 6, they're still going 7, they're still going deep into games, they're still giving our bullpen, a little bit less workload. And I think that's really the culmination of a couple of years of in the league and realizing what's important as a starter. And I think obviously all the fancy whatever strikeouts and all the stats are fun, but I think when it comes down to it, being a real workhorse and getting deep into games and putting up innings, and I think that's what's super important to me. And then all the other stuff kind of works itself out.
So 162 battles.
Yeah.
Not just the offensive guys.
Yeah, pitchers too.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it's 162 shots on the golf course. Those are all battles.
I hope not.
No, it hasn't been that bad. Where'd you play this offseason?
I was living here mostly, so kind of played all over the place. One of my favorites that I actually just got out to go play was Estancia, up north, right near True North. That's a cool spot.
All right.
Played some good ones. Quintero, obviously, up here, tough.
I think I lost 162 balls.
I definitely didn't have the most pretty outing
All
either.
right. Well, let's let you go. I know you got a full day ahead of you. We got Shannon coming in next as well. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for standing in for Bryce, and hopefully that won't have to happen too often. We appreciate it, Brian. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go. That's Bryan Woo. We'll be right back with Shannon, Brock, and Salk Sales Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans?
With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike McDonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the A to Z savings event at AutoZone.
Yeah, happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with the rotors.
Free. Really?
Really, free.
Okay, I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah, how much is that?
Free with 5 quarts of oil.
Free? Really?
Really, free. It's part of the A to Z savings event.
You might as well call it A to free.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel, where comfort meets elegance. It's Mike Salk here, and this summer you can experience breathtaking Cascade views, world-class dining, and of course the best entertainment. Elevate your next getaway by combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. The hotel opens this summer with deluxe king and 2 queen rooms, premiums, grand suites, signature suites, and the breathtaking views of the Cascades and the Snoqualmie Valley. For more details, go to snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
And I went a little long. I screwed it up with Bryan Woo. So, Shannon Drayer, I apologize if we short you by a minute or two today.
Oh, really?
I
said a dig.
No.
Oh, no pun intended.
Really?
No pun
Really,
intended.
Salk?
Really?
Oh, God.
Goodness gracious.
Brock would never do that.
Why would you do that, Salk? Not only are you late, then you call her short the first 10 seconds.
You know, can we
Be
get back
better.
to more screwing up people's names? We'll do that in a few minutes.
Yes.
Justin Hollander will join us in a half hour. Shannon, good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to be with you. We were just off the air here chatting about Andres Munoz, who walked by as we were talking about him, as seems to happen here all too often. You witnessed this new changeup?
I did. It was
And?
amazing. It was.
It was amazing.
It was amazing. I mean, it was one of those. And it's one pitch, and you know,
How many?
just
He
is
threw
silly.
one of them.
One of them with full intent. I
Okay.
think he threw 3, but it was just like kind of trying. You know, okay, let's see what this is like. And then he he turned around and he asked Pete if he could throw it, and told Cal he was going to throw it, and took a deep breath, and it almost hit Cal in the foot. It was absolutely amazing. It was the velocity that you would expect from Munoz turned out 91 miles. 10 inches of vertical drop, which is insane. And just to see the reaction, and you see a little bit of it on the video that I posted on social, but you had, coaches, front office members, bullpen players, all sorts of people behind the mound, and their reaction when he threw one pitch. And the thing that I'll remember is Matt Brash just staring up at the video monitor. It like is dumbfounded. And I caught up with Brash like 2 minutes after the pitch, and he just shook his head. He said, "That's the best pitch I've ever seen."
Crazy.
And I know that's, and Andres himself is like, "I threw it once," okay?
Right.
And it's something that he took and he started playing with 2 days earlier on flat ground sessions. So we'll see. And it's all written up on seattlesports.com. But, I mean, that's one of the joys of spring training is that you get to do that kind of thing. And, I'm standing right behind Cal. We can now get right behind the catchers. You don't have the big padding that you had there that was a challenge for me because it was about 5 feet high. and now it's like
They almost look like concession stands.
Yeah, there's actually a little, you can actually, there's a little ledge there that you can put things down. So you can watch like you've never been able to watch before. And the whole thing reminded me just a tiny bit of the first time that Dave Niehaus saw Michael Pineda.
The stank.
Exactly. But it was a moment. We all knew it was a moment. It might turn into something. It might have been the birth of the next greatest pitch ever, or it might be nothing. But it was a spring training moment.
I know it's only been 4 or 5 days for you, boots on the ground, watching all this. Still incredibly early in camp with just 3 games under the belt. But any different vibe with Dan Wilson leading the ship than, the previous 9 years with Scott as the captain?
Yeah, I think things have slowed down quite a bit. It's funny because you look at a camp and it's usually very tightly run. You're here, you're here, you're here, you're here. Got this meeting, you got that, you got that. A little bit looser. It's not to say that things aren't getting accomplished or things are late. It's just I think some things have been taken out. You don't see the morning meeting every morning anymore. They have a chalk talk going on right now and there, but that's not every day. There are days when they have more time to spend in the cages or doing individual drills and things out there. I asked Dan because, you've heard him talk about things like, we want to get the extra out of everybody that we can get. It's the little things. And then today he was talking about, we had some really good 2-strike at bats yesterday. And I asked, are you tracking them? Because you know that everything was on a chart, all the time in the past. And he said, no, not formally right now, but they are reinforcing when they see it and they're talking about it. So I do think that there's been a lot of editing. I don't know for sure, but that when you ask about a feel and hearing a little bit here and there, I think that's what I'm getting from it is they're just trying to take some off of the shoulders of the players and get them out there a little bit more natural, I think.
Yeah. Give me a name. Give me any name. Just one person you've watched down here that jumped out to you and for whatever reason.
Well, Munoz, we talked about him, and I don't want to make light of that because I think it's important.
Okay.
I do think that he had his ups and downs last year, and I do think that he has pitched quite a bit in the last 2 years. So even with Matt Brash coming back, and he's thrown some nice bullpens too, I think Munoz is very important to this. So to see him come in, he's in great shape, which he always is, but it looked like a little bit different shape to be rested. And I'll go ahead and throw in Gabe Spire with that too. And I think that the bullpen really kind of got a pass for a lot of the things that went wrong last year, and I think that they need every leverage arm they have. And Spire was so big the year before in critical situations. He had a lot going on physically. He needed some rest. He changed some things in the offseason. I think when I look at the bullpen, I think that gives them, if they are where they look to be right now, that is going to be a great help.
I agree with you on the bullpen getting a pass last year. I mean, the hitting was so bad that you couldn't ignore it, and it feels like it sucked up all the oxygen in the room, and all of the complaining and all of the frustration went straight to the offense. But, man, Austin Voth threw a lot of innings that weren't very good for this team last year. What did we say last week? He was the
67 appearances.
I think he was the second leading appearance Mariner last year, first or second. Trent Thornton was in too many leverage spots.
Right.
I mean, a Brash, a Santos, getting all those guys to where they're supposed to be is a pretty major difference for this team.
And he had an emergence of Colin Snyder, too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you might come out ahead in what you were able to do last year. But you talk about the one-run games, and they lost a lot of games late in the last
It wasn't just because of the offense.
and a half months.
No.
It wasn't just because of the offense. And I think that's important. And I was a little concerned that wasn't addressed in the offseason. But they've had a lot of confidence in what they've seen in Brash coming back and in what they have developed. And in Santos, too, which, until we see it, we don't know. So I do think that now that we're here and you see the relievers that they've had and some that they brought in, Fujinami pitched yesterday, very interesting. And there are a couple of others. I feel better about the bullpen group that
Brock
they have
likes
in camp.
Legumina.
Yeah.
I'm a Legumina guy.
He's a Legumina.
Well,
when you remember to say his name right.
He's an
Legumina
interesting.
guy.
I mean, he's kind of the Paul Sewald of the
He's
camp.
very
this year.
Sewaldy.
Yes,
That's
so
for sure.
you've got to have a Sewald
Do
every
we
year.
have we run to the store yet? We got any blondie ingredients, or where are we at?
Are we getting the brown butter blondies?
What do we?
We could do that.
We'll talk this week. We'll
Do
plan.
that.
I think
Yeah,
Thursday
there's-
night's going to be
How about
maybe.
a pie? Maybe like a key lime pie.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not taking requests.
I want a key lime pie.
You might get a lemon cheesecake. I don't know about a key lime pie.
Key lime pie's pretty good. I
I've
feel
never
like
made one.
Well, I feel like you'd be great at it.
Well, I kind of
Why
don't.
so? Like Andres Munoz's changeup.
Yeah.
Changeup.
They maybe talk about it. That's the best key lime pie.
Flat
I've
ground,
ever
take the
had.
key lime
What
pie.
are-
Greatest
What
baked
are you
dessert.
bringing to the table?
Me? My lovely personality, obviously.
His wit, his good looks,
Yeah.
all of it. Yeah,
I
it's great.
bring an ability to rave about whatever food I get a chance to eat.
That's true.
all I'm saying. Shannon, sorry to cut you short. We will do this, though, hopefully every day this week at this time. And so we'll get a 5-day Shannon experience every day at 8 this week. That's
I've been
the plan.
warned. Okay.
All right. Justin
say
Hollander.
abbreviated. Say brief. Say abbreviated. You don't have to say short every time. Justin Hollander in 20. Everything you know next. Bye.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
I'm at the gym. I be low key at the gym. I be hat on, hoodied on, headphones in.
So
I don't
no one
talk to
recognizes you? Are you a celebrity?
No.
Stop. Do you
not
have
at all.
sunglasses on too?
Not at all. I just get in my zone and block everybody out. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But I couldn't block this out.
Okay.
One day I'm looking at this guy and he's wearing a Kobe jersey. So I'm really feeling him. I go, that's my guy right there. He doesn't even know. Then I walk in today and my man has on a Larry Bird jersey. And I stopped my workout. I went over him. I go, hey, bro. Sir. I go, hey, you can't do that.
Streaming on your smart speaker.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and I have had a couple injuries through the years. I know a little bit about pain. We're down here watching the baseball team. Certainly it's a big part of these guys' careers and staying healthy, but you don't have to play pro sports to know what I'm talking about. Painful joints from arthritis can affect anyone and make it hard to do pretty much anything. Well, that is where my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine over there in Kirkland, that is where he comes to play. He has seen so many patients through the decades suffering from chronic joint pain. So don't let pain stop you from your quality of life. Consider Dr. Nelson the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques. So no matter what walks through the door, he's been there and he's done it. And he's got an amazing set of tools, including stem cell therapy, now a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells and platelet-rich plasma to harness your body's healing potential. Consider stem cell therapy and so much more with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000. 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we are committed to giving you quality workmanship and white glove service that exceed your expectations. Get our exclusive leak armor installation backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
In a sea of thousands of competitors, Riverside Roofing continues to stand out. And guess what? They got openings this winter for your roof project. Call 425-949-8252 or go to riversideroofingllc.com. The roofing company you can trust.
Lowe's knows that your deadlines don't change, even when your job does. But with Lowe's Buy Online, Pick Up in Store, we'll help you adjust on the fly. And when you absolutely can't leave the project, we can deliver to your job site as soon as same day. Lowe's knows pros. We help, you save. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
If you're injured in the state of Washington, here's what matters. Who represents you matters. The experience of their staff matters. Their investigation team and track record of success matters. Davis Law Group was founded in Seattle and has been winning cases for more than 30 years. We know Washington State, we know our courts, and we know how to deliver the highest level of client satisfaction. And that's what matters.
For Down Territory, going inside the game. What Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
It's time to go all in at Toyota of Kirkland. All in on their commitment to quality, innovation, and durability that makes Toyota of Kirkland certified pre-owned and used vehicles the best in the market. When a product is made better, it lasts longer, and Toyota of Kirkland is the place to be to go all in on your next used vehicle for that reason. With a large inventory of certified pre-owned and used vehicles with incredible savings, why not visit their wonderful staff and beautiful showroom today at Toyota of Kirkland or online at toyotaofkirkland.com and go all in on your next car.
O'Brien.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
That was great to be out at the Mariner game yesterday. Spring training action as they win their home opener, courtesy of a lot of hitting. My gosh, 17 hits leading to 11 runs. Not a single long ball, but they just kind of singled and doubled them to death. Tyler Locklear was awesome. He had a couple of hits, including this one, cut one. He's a guy we haven't talked about a ton.
Talked a lot about him last year.
But he's like, I know they've been high on him for a long time. He's had his now a first look in the big leagues, and there's no reason he can't be a contributor for them this year.
Here's the pitch. Swing and a fly ball down the right field line. Stay fair, and it will be a fair ball in toward the corner. Garver scores the tying run. Canzone to third being waved in by Chris Negron. The throw-in is cut off. The relay to the plate, not in time. Canzone scores, standing up. Tyler Locklear with a double the other way down the right field line. Drives in a couple, and it's now the Mariners 2 and the Diamondbacks 1.
And they had a few of those yesterday that kind of just fell in inside the line. And, you know, if they're a couple feet farther out, they're foul balls, and maybe we have a different conversation. But Crawford, Garver, Shenton, Canzone all had 2-hit days. Ryan Lewis with a big day. It was great.
Yeah, and as Shannon was saying, good situational hitting, 2-out hitting the ball the other way. I know that makes Ricky really happy. I know Rizzer likes it when they go the other way, just like I do. And you just didn't want to start spring Salk 0-3. There's some urgency. Get that W yesterday, and they did.
I'm sure the team really rallied behind that cause.
Can't be 0-3.
It was the first look at an actual potential major league pitcher to start the game. Emerson Hancock went 1 2/3 and was reasonably effective. Not incredible, but good.
What was he sitting? Low 90s?
Yeah, 93-ish. Okay. Maybe hit 94, kind of in that range. Yeah, he wasn't throwing 98, that's for sure. Fujinami came in and was throwing 98. The other guy that I noticed was your guy, Legamina. Very Paul Sewaldy, and sort of in that same 94-mile-an-hour fastball from the same whippy arm angle with a little slider put into it.
Does he have some local? Is he a Gonzaga guy? Where was he from?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay, I thought I read somewhere that he might be.
I know Austin Shenton is. He had a couple of hits yesterday, which was cool. Anyway, Mariners win. They'll get back to it today. Logan Gilbert, who I just saw walking in, will get the start today. Luis Castillo tomorrow. So, yeah, we did talk.
Not Luis F. Castillo.
No, the actual real deal Luis Castillo, the Rock La Piedra.
I'm kind of with you.
Do you read into anything there?
I'm kind of with you, by the way.
Not a good name for a boat.
Don't name it the boat. Yeah.
You can't name your boat the Rock.
Or the Iceberg.
It's just a terrible name. Why not just name it This Sinks? Like, it's just not a good name for a boat.
I mean, that's him, though. I mean, that's
I know it is, but...
No, you won't even go on a boat. You don't get an opinion on this.
I think I do. This is why I don't go on boats. I don't want to sink. I'm going to ask Luis
no,
about
it's
this.
because you're seasickness that you won't take medicine.
That too. Do you read anything into Logan?
Logan get the first?
Yeah. No?
Has Luis gotten the first?
I don't know, but the fact that it's Logan
years?
then Luis,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm reading into it a little bit.
Read into it.
Barring
like
anything else, maybe that's a sign of what to come.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
I'm reading into everything. I'm maybe reading in a little bit to the fact that Jorge Polanco is not ready to go full speed just yet. Only because we were told, hey, he's been signed, and part of the reason we want to go back to him is that he's in better condition, better shape, better knee than last year. He had the off-season surgery, and I guess I was hoping that he'd be full speed, ready to go.
And because I believe even when that became public, it was pending physical. If my memory serves me correct, and I think it does in this case, and that was some of the feeling, and certainly our buddies from the Marine Layer and everybody at the winter meetings, Jorge was there himself, saying, no, I'm in great shape. Go ahead, put me through whatever you need to put me through. And I think, honestly, this is just, and we'll ask Justin Hollander about this in exactly 10 minutes when he joins us. I think this is just, let's play the long game. This dude endured a lot. This guy played injured for us last season and for himself as well. But, you know, he played hurt last year. And let's make sure he's not playing hurt this year. And if it means a slow roll to begin, so be it.
I'll tell you, the guy that I've got my eye on here in spring is Ben Williamson, young third baseman. And if anything is not 100% right with Polanco, or if he struggles at third base, Williamson can really pick it over there. He's already supposed to be a plus defender. And every time I see him, he sure seems to hit the ball pretty well. So looking forward to seeing what that looks like on the hot corner.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
I did like seeing the Kraken come out ready to go on Saturday, coming out of their break, as they win their first game in Florida against a very good Florida team that's won a Stanley Cup and excellent hockey team, and they go in there and they beat them 2-1. They get a goal from McCann. They get a goal from Capo Caco, my kid's favorite player. And then you'd like to see them turn that into another win the next day, and instead they get their doors blown off by Tampa, who's also a good team. It does. But good to see Jordan Eberle back. He makes his way off the injured list and played in both those games. So good to have the captain back on the
Combine gets going this week down in Indianapolis. Yeah. We'll hear from John Schneider tomorrow at the podium. We'll hear from Mike McDonald Wednesday. All the boys, including those big linemen, will start working out Thursday. So that will get cranked up. And I got a quick confession.
Oh, geez. Here we go.
That's everything you need to know. Just real quick confession. Upon further review, and maybe this is me getting older, just like you in Sun City, upon further review, I'm realizing I like the slap of the leather more than the ping of the cleats on the concrete. Yep, I was listening. You've always
been the concrete guy.
I know, but I was listening to a lot of those sounds like we did on our Here's the Thing, that I listened to those just sounds. I enjoy the birds chirping. I still love the spikes on the concrete, but the
pop of the mitt.
The pop of the leather. It's now number one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's taken number one. Maybe it's getting older. I don't know what
you think
it is.
That's an age thing?
It might be.
Maybe leather, as your skin gets more leathery as you get older. Maybe that's more on your mind.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will be joined by Mariners general manager Justin Hollander, who I don't believe has ever been on our show. So hopefully this is the birth of a new relationship. We'll see where this goes. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Wyman and Bob.
There's a Twitter account, I guess, called Mile High Moments, and they found the video of Dave Wyman scoring a touchdown.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
Who needs Elway when you've got Maddox to Wyman?
My pregnant wife at the time, she missed the play because she was going to the bathroom, and I guess my mom went nuts, and my brother was embarrassed.
Is that the one you said you went crazy in the end zone, and you're like,
yeah,
I didn't act like I've been there before or something?
They were like, yeah, act like you've been there, but I haven't.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
All right, so Mike Salk here. One of the best parts of being here at spring training is seeing just how physically impressive all of these professional athletes really are up close. We've been talking about it all morning. Coming off the long off season, they've all got something to prove, and it's clear so many of them are in peak physical shape after the months of hard work. So for the rest of us, all right, we might not have the same resources, time, energy, et cetera, to devote to our diet and exercise, but what if I told you you too could be in the best shape of your life in just 45 days. It's all it takes. You could lose a pound a day with the help of Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. It worked for me. 35 pounds over 8 weeks, 10 in the first week. I felt healthy, eating great, delicious, fresh meals that you buy at the grocery store. No pills, no injections, no fake food, no nothing. Find out if you could do it too. I know you can. A 15-minute call is all it takes. No obligation. Schedule it right now. Go to EastsideWeightLossClinic.com. You got nothing to lose except for a ton of weight. Go to EastsideWeightLossClinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Did you know that most people wait 6 or 7 years before they buy a new TV? That's a lot of time in front of one TV. So why not get one of the best sets for the next 7 years, like one of the top-rated Samsung, LG, or Sony models? Too expensive? What if you could get up to $1,000 trade-in for your old set? Who would do a stupid deal like this? Right now, at Video Only, you can get big bucks for your old set as a trade-in and a hot price on the new models. Don't be sorry. Check out Video Only.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Seattle Sports is in Arizona for spring training baseball. Go behind the scenes with Brock and Salk all this week from 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports.
Calling all pickleballers, Champions of Change and Safeway announced a multi-city pickleball tournament, including celebrity games with Seahawk legends Doug Baldwin, Mike Bennett, Cliff Averill, and more. In collaboration, Nourishing Champions campaign will be raising awareness and accepting donations to provide nutritious foods for student athletes in under-resourced high schools. You can help by donating at your local Safeway checkout. Open to all. The tournaments are in Seattle, Lacey, and Spokane. Register today at championsofchangefoundation.org/pickleball.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and having to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
They say teachers don't impact for a year, but for a lifetime. Hi, this is Rick Riz. Join WSECU, your local credit union, as we celebrate those who give so much with the Teacher of the Week program. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. Each week throughout the season, we'll honor one teacher with a $500 grant, courtesy of WSECU. Teachers are the real MVPs. Find out more and nominate a teacher at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, we roll on from spring training, Mariners home here in Peoria. And I can't believe, but I'm pretty sure this is true. I don't think Justin Hollander has ever joined our show, but he is here at the picnic table with us now, even after the insult he endured from Mora, who just totally called him by the wrong name. This man is the executive vice president of the Mariners.
I know who he is. I just said hi to Ryan Divish, and for some reason, my brain, I said hi, Ryan, again.
Mora.
And I just apologized.
Oh, my God.
And do you know what he said? He didn't even notice.
Oh, my God.
So I just outed myself for no reason.
Mora, you represent us, and this is how this happens?
I deeply apologize, Justin.
Executive Vice President Justin Hollander.
You just did it.
I did it on purpose.
I do think this is my maiden voyage on the show. I'm assuming I'm here so Brock and I can break down all of Ohio State's run to the CFP.
Oh, would you like to?
Absolutely.
Give me the number one key.
The defense was awesome. And Jeremiah Smith is good. That's those two things are going to get you a long way.
When they lost to Michigan, did you, in your wildest dreams, believe they would go on that run and win the national title?
No, I really didn't. I was so happy for Ryan Day to have overcome all the critics and the people just all over him. The lunatic fringe is a term that's thrown around, and I don't think it's as big as people make it out to be. But it's a hard job. It's hard. It's a great job, but it's a hard job. And for him, I just think he does all the right things. He wins a ton of games. He seems from a distance to be a good human in a sport that doesn't have a lot of those at the top of the food chain. And I was so thrilled for him, and it was so fun to watch with my kids. My son is a huge fan, and to watch that 4-game run was incredible.
All right, since this is your maiden voyage on the show, and I think this is a question we get often, and we've tried to explain it a little bit, but maybe it would be good to hear from you. What is the difference between your job and Jerry's job? What is the difference between president of baseball ops and executive VP GM?
I think the thing that Jerry has done for me is make me his partner in a lot of ways. So he's invited me in to make the decisions, to work together. We don't always agree on everything, and usually we come to some sort of compromise if we don't agree. Ultimately, the final decision rests with him, but he gives me a lot of latitude along the way to cultivate and develop staff, to install systems and programs that we both think can help make us better, and ultimately to shape the roster from the Dominican all the way to the big leagues. And he's been unbelievable to me over the years. You know, I've worked with Jerry every year but one since the fall of 2011, and the trust that he has put in me is obviously an amazing feeling. He's done a ton for me.
How much of that job, of your job, is managing the staff of baseball operations? Because I think people think of the GM, they think that all day you're on the phone making trades and signing people and scout. Like, how much of your job is spent just managing people like any other manager in the world not in baseball?
99%, in not exaggerating.
How many people report to you?
I have 6 direct reports, and then from there it spirals off. Jerry and I kind of split up the VP leadership group, and he has entrusted me with a lot of the sort of the pro personnel group and the office group, data science, analytics, baseball projects, and then player personnel at the pro level. And then Jerry tends to take more hands-on with PD and scouting on the amateur and international level, and then we sort of collaborate on the major league roster and staff. The best way I can explain it is I just don't really believe in the super executive, the one person who can walk out on the field and go, that guy can play, these rest of these guys can't, I'm going to go acquire that guy, I don't need the rest of it. We're all only as good as the people that we surround ourselves with, and I think, you know, we're so lucky here to have so many impact people across all of our departments. That is what has made us good as we've sort of taken a step back, rebuilt, and then taken big steps forward. I think we will have more steps to take, but it's the people. It's the people that make an impact every day. There's no way that Jerry or I or really any of our department heads could affect 180 baseball ops employees every day.
And you realize, we'll get to baseball, but you realize after he was a Buckeye and before 2011, you know what he did for 4 years? He was an attorney.
I did know that.
I'd like to know what the back of the baseball card from your attorney days looks like.
Really boring. it was a lot of paperwork, which is the reason I don't do it now. Like I can't think of I'm out here, it's sunny, this guy's playing catch over here, and I just think about the soul-sucking job of filling out paperwork all day in a suit. Compared to this, I made a good decision.
Yeah. All right, you want to talk baseball? Let's start with the number one guy on this team. The pivot for everything is Julio Rodriguez. For all the questions about the offense the last couple years, I was pointing out earlier, when Julio hits, there's no problem with the offense. It all seems to work just fine. So where is he at between the relationship with Edgar, the relationship with his personal hitting coach? Where is Julio at in your eyes?
I think the first place I'd start is probably the best question to ask Julio himself. He knows himself better than anybody. From my perspective, I think he's in a great spot. I think it takes a while for guys to come in the league and figure out their own identity, what they're good at, what they're trying to accomplish, develop plans and routines that make sense for them, because what may work for me may not work for you, and what may work for one player that he views from across the clubhouse or across the dugout may not work for him. It may not work for his body. It may not work for his mind. And I think he continues to take steps forward and developing his own identity, both on the field in terms of what he can do in the batter's box, what he does defensively, and in the clubhouse, cultivating his own way of leading, his own way of galvanizing the group of players around him. Everybody knows he's the most talented guy on the field. There's no question about that. I think he has taken real steps forward second half of last year and this offseason and now into spring training in terms of how he's leading, how he's preparing himself to go max out his tools every day.
Do you have a sense how Edgar and Kevin Seitzer work with OV, his personal coach? How does that relationship function?
I think that relationship functions in that the most important thing we can all do is communicate. We can all communicate with what we're trying to work on, what Julio feels like the right thing to work on, is then make sure the message is consistent every day. Make it simple for the player. It's a very complicated game. coaching at its basic is making it as simple as you can for the person who's trying to execute it when the pitcher's throwing at 100 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm. Just a couple weeks here in the camp and 3 games in. Obviously, the infancy stages of all of this. But just big picture baseball-wise, as you look at this group of men that are all out here now and working and on the field, big picture, 30,000-foot level, what jumps out about this personnel group?
I think the depth of the pitching really stands out. Last year, obviously we had bullpen injuries that affected us. And I think coming into camp, it was one of our questions is this group of collective pitchers 1 through 13 as deep and good as it has been in previous years? Mm-hmm. And I think there were some hurdles to jump over as we got through the first half of last year between the injuries and some of the guys that just weren't able to take steps forward like we hoped. This year feels different. It feels more like 23 for us, more like 22 for us, just in terms of the depth of interesting arms, the guys who we really think can contribute. And then obviously, I don't want to bury the lead, the 5 guys at the front who start the game every day for 5 days straight. They're really good, really, really good, and the steps they have taken in their own personal growth are noticeable.
Who's on that list of guys that can contribute, and maybe even especially in the rotation? Yeah. We were talking about it earlier. You guys have had an unbelievable run here with this group, and I don't want to jinx anything, and we're hoping that you guys found the secret to keeping pitchers healthy. If that's not the case, who else could we see?
I don't suspect that's the case. I think we care a lot and we work really hard to do the right thing for the players all the time. I don't think we found the pixie dust that's going to allow us to keep pitchers healthy when the rest of the free world can't. We'll have adversity to overcome this year. Everybody does. Emerson Hancock was really good yesterday. We saw Logan Evans the other day, and it was like a typical Cactus League outing where it's 2 infield hits and then the ball bloops in, and it can get fast for him. I was super impressed with the way he handled that. He has really good stuff. We've seen Brandon Garcia in this camp already. You'll see him in a game here coming up. He's been really good.
He's been a reliever
Correct.
This year.
Yes.
If something were to go horribly wrong, could he be moved back to being a starter?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that prevents us from doing that. We do think his quickest path to impact is out of the bullpen. And so I would frame him in sort of both buckets of guys who can impact us in different roles. We saw Casey Legamina and Shintaro Fujinami yesterday. Both those guys are really interesting. Fuji has unbelievable stuff, and I thought his ability to mix in his secondary stuff yesterday and throw it for strikes was a nice step forward. And then Casey's really unique. Obviously, we've had guys with that slot before, and I don't want to compare him to Sewald or Tyson Miller last year, but he does a lot of things that are similar, and just locking him in on what his plan A is and sort of aggressively attacking that every outing has been a focus for us, and I'm really excited about what he's doing right now.
16 years ago, first camp down here, spring training, Salk taught me a valuable lesson. The competition. I came in here just a total meathead when it came to baseball. Still largely am. But, competition isn't always a great thing. You kind of want a lot of your team settled. And if there's a spot here or a spot there, that can be healthy. Do I kind of hear you say that maybe the most competitive spot on this roster will be the back end of that bullpen? Not the leverage guys, but the bullpen in totality. Is there some legitimate competition there?
It always is in that spot. Obviously, we talked about injuries a minute ago, and just relievers by nature tend to be more volatile. I've been really impressed with what we've seen from Gabe Spire, who obviously had the unbelievable year in 23 when we acquired him. I think last year he struggled to figure out what was working for him and what wasn't. And you can see the work that he put in this offseason, and just the Gabe going forward looks really good right now. His body's in a great place. What's coming out of his hand is really strong. We had guys step up in the second half, guys like Trent Thornton, guys like Troy Taylor, that are really going to be interesting on this team. Colin Snyder is a guy who was awesome for us in the second half. We didn't anticipate and weren't really prepared for those guys in the first half of last year. We feel like with the addition of what those guys did in the second half, some of the names we just hit on, and then obviously Mooney, Santos, and hopefully a soon-to-be healthy Matt Brash, that's a really good bullpen.
I heard I read a quote from Jerry the other day, and I want to make sure it's accurate. He's not always quoted perfectly, so I want to make sure I get this one right.
I am not going there.
I just want to make sure it's right. It's just accurate. He said something along the lines of the young guys will let them, if they show us something, we'll let them run with it.
Yep.
Can you elaborate on that? What does that mean to let some of the young guys run with it? Does that mean straight out of spring? Does that mean in a few months? What does that mean?
don't think it means something different for every player. They tell you when they're ready. We can sit around all winter and say, well, maybe he'll be ready in April, or maybe it'll be June. Ultimately, they tell you, and spring training is a little harder to figure out sometimes just because nothing that happens on the field here is that predictive of anything. Once you get into the regular season, the players tell you, Julio told us in 22, I'm absolutely ready to go. I'm ready to go from a talent perspective. I'm ready to go from a skills perspective. And I'm ready to go from a maturity perspective. I just don't think it's super productive to put limits on young players, particularly the ultra-talented ones. They'll push people out of the way when they're ready.
How do you make that decision in stacking this rotation? You mentioned they're the foundation of this whole deal anyway, right? Dan comes in and Logan, where is he at? Luis, where is he? Is it a given that Luis is going to be starter day one, or will they kind of tell you and the guys tell you that over the next month?
I think that's a decision that's a sort of a collective organizational decision, but I do think it's ultimately the manager and the pitching coaches who should make that call. However, whatever order we start in will probably not be the order that we're in by the end of April. Mm-hmm. Things will happen. Somebody will get skipped. We'll move somebody around. We'll have a rain out. Obviously, it's a huge honor the way in which we start to take the ball on opening day. The Mariners have had an unbelievable run of just like dudes with a capital D take the ball on opening day. However, Dan and the pitching coaches decide to work that out, we're in a good spot because we have 5 guys who could legitimately take the ball on opening day for most teams.
How do you feel about your offseason?
I feel fine about the offseason. I want to answer this in the right way. We, in general, when you go to an offseason, you spend all of October vetting what are the possibilities with other teams. And then free agency starts in early November, and you vet all those possibilities. We tried very hard to make transactions that maybe were more impactful than what we ultimately ended up doing. What we did not want to do is make transactions for transaction's sake. Doing things to make me emotionally feel like we accomplished something that actually made us worse is not a good decision in the long run. There's all sorts of biases and moral hazards that you can attach with the jobs that people in my role do. And what I can't get caught up in is doing something that makes me feel good in a moment. Hey, let's shake up the snow globe. Let's do a bunch of things that ultimately make the roster worse, make the floor lower without making the ceiling higher. So we would have liked to have accomplished more to add more to the team. I don't think that there's an end date on doing that right now.
How did you go through the thought process of pitching, balancing the two sides of your team, pitching and hitting? The team was obviously last year heavily imbalanced towards the pitching side. Yeah. What would you need to get back to be willing to give up some of the strength to help some of the weakness?
It's wins in, wins out. Like there's obviously if you're on the extreme end, if you're all one way and not all the other way, it can be hard more emotionally than it can actually be like from the spreadsheet perspective. And I'm not immune to that. We feel like we have probably a more balanced team than we're given credit for in some way. But ultimately, the results on the field will speak to whether that's right or wrong. I said it, I think, 2 weeks ago when I was in visiting with you guys and Bump and Stacy. We played terrible offense for 4 months as a team, just bad. Like, there's no sugarcoating it. There's no way of getting around it. We were frustrated. We just did not consistently play good offense. We didn't do the big things, and we didn't do the little things. For the last 2 months of the season, we played pretty good offense, and it's not a 34-game Dan and Edgar sample. It's like, for really from the All-Star break on, post Vic playing every day and post acquiring Randy, along with JT, we played really good offense. We did the little things well, and we did the big things well. We took our walks, and we hit homers. We also moved runners and stole bases. We were really well-rounded. We need to do that for 6 months. We believe in this roster. It's partially why we were less transactional, because we felt like just doing things to shake it up when we felt like we do have a good roster that underachieved for large segments of the season last year offensively was not smart. We were banking somewhat on the players that we have being better than they were over the 6 month season. But we need to go show it. There's no other way of getting around it. We cannot play offense. I want to say on like July 1st, we were 28th in the league in runs scored. We cannot play offense like that.
Mm-hmm. Is you vetted and planned for the market conditions there in October and into November? Anything jump out with what the market actually did over the months that followed?
Not really. I wouldn't say we were surprised, and I don't mean that to come off in an arrogant way at all. Mm-hmm. Like every year, somebody gets a little more than you're expecting. Somebody's a little harder to acquire via trade than you're expecting. But in aggregate, like, we viewed the infield market as kind of a tough market this offseason, but we knew that was an area we had to address. We viewed the pitching market as likely a very expensive venture in free agency and a tough to acquire venture in trade. We had a lot of conversations this offseason, and ultimately we just never got to a point where anyone in our room was convicted or had momentum that it was going to make us better to trade off of our current Major League roster for pieces we just didn't feel like were of equal value to our team.
What about the veteran leadership presence? We've talked over the years about the difference that Carlos Santana made, that Justin Turner made. Both of those guys ended up elsewhere this offseason. How do you feel the clubhouse is in terms of that veteran presence?
Feel really good about the clubhouse as a whole. Obviously, that's, you know, a part of Donovan Solano's skill set. He's been on good teams for a long time. You know, after we agreed to terms with him, Perry Hill, unprompted, picked up the phone and called me and just said the best. He is the best. He and Polo, you know, fit really well together. Bone compared the two of them and said, these guys are at the top of my scale for veteran leaders who always are in the right place, who always do the right thing. Obviously, we have some of our own guys coming back that we feel good about. I think Cal and Logan Gilbert taking steps forward in their own careers. Young leaders like Bryce Miller, guys around the diamond. Dylan Moore has been a leader in our clubhouse. I do think Victor Robles is sort of an underrated leader and really galvanized the group. The energy that he brought every day last year was big for us. So I don't think it's ever really one person, but there's no question that guys like Carlos and JT brought a ton to us in that area, just in the value of having been through it and done almost everything you can do in baseball.
Justin, what do you think is the biggest misperception for those of us that are not in the room, those of us that are not in the day-to-day, those of us that don't handle all the responsibilities that come with management and administration of all the people and personnel? What do you think is the biggest misperception for those of us outside to the business of baseball on the inside?
Wow, that's a great question. I've never gotten asked that question before, so I'm just going to talk for a minute and try and sort through what I think that is.
That's what we do every day.
Misperception. I think it's how much goes into any one player. Like the number of people in a baseball ops group that affect the decisions from the time that player is drafted or signed all the way to the time that he gets in the big leagues to the improvement they make. There's so many people, and we're sort of an average-sized baseball ops group, 180 people in the org, and all of them have a real impact on what goes on with the Mariners on the major league field. And I don't think people realize how many people are invested night to night in that outcome, even if they're not in Seattle that day. If they're in Little Rock working with the AA team, or they're in Everett, or they're a scout who's on the East Coast or in Japan or Korea. Like, all of those people have such a huge role in what we do every day, and no one ever hears about them.
You mentioned the analytical side of things. I imagine that's still a major part of the way you acquire and choose who to acquire and who to draft, et cetera. What role is it going to be playing in terms of major league strategy on the field? Because what we saw last year and a lot of what we've heard seems like it runs pretty contrary to a lot of the analytical revolution over the last 20, 30 years. Is the team still invested in analytics as a major part of their strategy?
I don't think there's going to be any change from the way, you know, we've sort of handled strategy from an analytical, from a data perspective over the years. I would sort of disagree with the premise that things change down the stretch. There's no data science or analytical measure that doesn't think that stealing bases at a high rate of success is the right thing to do. You know, like if we talk about bunting, like tell me what the score is, tell me where we're playing, tell me who's batting, tell me who's pitching, tell me what inning it is. Like, then I'll tell you whether it's a good idea or not. I thought we executed at a really high level from a data strategy perspective over the last 6 weeks of the season, if you sort of want to draw an arbitrary line to like pre-Dan and post-Dan, and I would expect us to continue to execute at a high level.
So Dan is not going to play this like 1980s or 90s baseball?
I don't think so, no. I mean, we ran pretty, you know, I wouldn't say hardline platoons, but we platoon players over the last 35, 40 games of the season, just like we had before. We pinch hit, you know, if anything, a little more than we had before. We were more aggressive on the bases, but in some ways I think our talent dictated, with Victor and Randy, us being more aggressive on the bases than we had. different players have different skill sets, but I don't anticipate us like turning back the clock and doing anything differently. I think the whole staff is sort of wired to approach things from an evidence-based way.
Where will we, and we, the collective Mariner fans and all of us that follow this every single day and love it, where will we feel maybe the most difference between Dan and Edgar? And we got to see it in a snippet, right, for the final 35, 40 games. Where do you think we'll feel it the most this spring and heading into this 25 season?
I don't know if you will. I got to be honest. I mean, inevitably when you talk about someone new who's here, you're sort of making a statement about someone who isn't here anymore. Scott believed in, moving runners and hitting with runners in scoring position. Scott believed in the center of the field. I do think the messaging will be different. I think Edgar's gift is in the message, his ability to make it simple for hitters, to talk about big ideas, but distill them into ways that really connect and resonate with players because he's presenting them in a way that's simple and not complicated. I think that strikes the perfect balance for what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to take all this data and info and these big ideas, and we're going to put them in the funnel and have an awesome messenger at the bottom of the funnel to tell the player, this is what I'm hoping you can accomplish. This is what I believe you can do. And I think Edgar's gift as a hitting coach is just that. He connects with players. He can make the complicated simple. I think that's a big reason why Kevin Seitzer connected with all of us in the interview process, because he and Edgar are kind of cut from the same cloth. Like, they all believe in, hitting the ball hard in the air to the alleys. Edgar's way of messaging it may be different than what we've had in the past, and I hope it resonates better than it has in the past.
Last thing, give us one guy, one name that we haven't talked about here in the last 25 minutes.
Is pick to click?
Yeah, no, just if somebody comes out to the ballpark here to spring training, if they make their way down from Seattle, give me one name that they should absolutely make sure they watch for a few minutes.
I'm going to cheat here.
Okay.
You got to go to the backfields and see Durangelo St. pitch if he's throwing on the backfields. I walked down there the other day. I actually missed the first inning of our first Cactus League game because I wanted to go see it. It is so damn cool to go watch him do it. So the way it was set up for the live VP, and obviously we can't control game conditions, but the way it was set up for the live VP, he's going to pitch to 2 batters right-handed, then 1 batter left-handed, and then 2 batters right-handed, and then 1 batter left-handed. And obviously we set it up so he's only facing lefties left-handed because he would never do it the other way in a game in all likelihood. So Ty Pete stepped in there. Ty Pete was the 3rd batter of the game. Ty Pete is left-handed, for those who don't know, and he pitched to Ty Pete left-handed. He, has that at-bat. He pitches to the next hitter right-handed, and then Ty Pete is the next hitter again because it's just a live BP. So Ty Pete steps back in, again, 1 batter after he just pitched to him left-handed, and Durangelo flips the glove around and pitches to him right-handed. It was so awesome. It was so cool.
What did Pete say afterwards?
He's like, that was crazy. And also, Durangelo's throwing 98 right-handed and 93 left-handed, and it's just, who can do that? That is I know Logan Gilbert really wants to try it, and that's where I draw a hard line on experimentation if Logan wants to throw left-handed. But it was so cool. And I think that's the best part for us of spring training is seeing the young kids, seeing them for the first time and getting to know them a little bit, and watching Durangelo and Ryan Sloan, our 2nd-round pick last year, just throw rockets. Obviously, Durangelo with both hands, Ryan with his right hand, was really cool. And if you're a fan and you come down here, you get a chance to walk to the backfields and see those guys on a day when they're pitching, I would definitely encourage it because in Durangelo's case, there's literally no one like him.
That's awesome. Cool. Justin Hollander, Executive Vice President and General Manager, and now we know exactly what that means. So thanks for sitting down with us. Hopefully we'll do it again.
Thanks for having me.
All right, there you go. There's Justin Hollander. We'll come back and talk through that and a whole lot more next. We roll on from Peoria. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports is in Arizona for spring training baseball.
Our goal really is to come out of spring training and to play that consistent brand of baseball from beginning to end.
Go behind the scenes with Brock and Salk as the Seattle Mariners get ready for the 2025 season. All this week from 6 to 10.
What a masterful performance by the big right-hander Logan Gilbert.
And hear every pitch of spring training baseball on Seattle Sports. Streaming on the Seattle Sports app.
Holy smokes.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Every year we see a spike in serious accidents involving motor vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians occurring in the few days after daylight saving time. If you are injured in an accident, protect your legal rights with an experienced team of lawyers who know how to get results. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 to request a free legal consultation or get my free book on car accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No, no place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, Bike Shop. Yeah.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward,
Not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, final hour here of the Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. As we are in Peoria, we're at Mariners spring training all this week, which means plenty of fun guests and conversations. Thank you to Bryan Woo for jumping on with us earlier. Thank you to Justin Hollander. We'll chat about what he had to say here right now. Tomorrow, Bryce Miller on the show. Wednesday, Dan Wilson will join the show. So, yeah, stacked and racked already, and with a whole lot more to come. We'll talk to Logan, I'm sure, at some point. Cal at some point. You know, all of our
You're getting
Julio.
hot. You're getting hot.
It's warm,
it's
but not in a bad way. It's
no,
great.
no, it's wonderful.
No, this is what I love.
Brock's slowly trying to pull the guns out. He's
Yeah.
got the sleeves
Not
kind of
slowly
pushed
at all.
up.
I had the sweatshirt on as long as I could.
Yeah.
And then the sweatshirt.
I'm just saying you kind of have the sleeves like pushing
Oh,
up.
the gun show?
Yeah, no, you definitely
All right.
definitely make sure to
Sorry.
let those pups breathe.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What did you make of Justin Hollander?
He presents really well. You know, I think that's first and foremost. He's been at this now, what did he say, since 2011? Was with Jerry in Anaheim and obviously came up here to Seattle with him in just 14 years. And you feel that with a bunch of these people. I would say the same thing about Bryan. Just a brief conversation with Cal. So look, the advantage in my life experience of continuity, and we've had a lot of it over the years together, is you just get more and more confident in your own skin. You just kind of know who you are. I say all the time, if you're going to last in pro sports, you got to know what you are. You also got to know what you're not. And really, if you're going to stick, try to avoid the things that you're not. So I think that's maybe as much as anything is that Justin feels pretty comfortable in his skin here.
Yeah.
And all the continuity and time on task with not just Jerry, but so many of the people in their scouting department and all the work behind the scenes that we don't see. We see the tip of the iceberg, and we do not see all of it. We see the duck at the top of the water. We don't see all the pedaling that goes on underneath it. So I guess maybe first and foremost, just that. Yeah. Just a comfort in his skin and very comfortable to answer any question you throw at him.
Yeah, and I thought he handled all those questions really well, right? I mean, you know, how was the offseason? Good, not as good as we wanted it to be. How comfortable are you with your team? Comfortable. More comfortable than other people are, which, by the way, is exactly what I want him to say. I'd be really concerned if he came out and was like, yeah, quite frankly, we don't like our team. The fans are right. This offense is going to be awful. Like, is that what you want to hear? I certainly don't, because then it's going to be like, well, why didn't you do more? They have to truly believe, and we've said this since the beginning of the offseason, that the offense is better than it presented, and he recognized that it wasn't good. I didn't hear anyone trying to snow us. I didn't hear anyone trying to convince us that things were better than our eyes told us they were. He said the offense was unacceptable.
The first 4 months was terrible. And in July, you're 28th in the league offensively.
And in the last half, once they made a couple of changes to that, I didn't hear him blame the previous managerial staff and say they screwed it up for us or anything like that. I heard we made a couple acquisitions. We brought in Randy. We brought in Robles. They played a role. Justin Turner played a role. Some messaging played a role. And ultimately, they ended up being better in the back half of the season with their offense. They have to believe that in order to have had the offseason that they just had.
I think I also, in just speculation, nothing off the record here, when he was talking about not making a transaction just for the sake of making a transaction, not making a move so you feel good in that moment, but you really wonder, did that really benefit us?
The dopamine hit of making a move.
That's right. I have to think that's first base. Because there just were not many options at second or third. I'd have to think that if maybe where they...
Yeah, that sounds right.
Maybe where they had the most discussion. Maybe there was the most conversation. Probably two parts.
I think I heard that more as trading a Luis
That's
Castillo
right. There's two parts to that.
a young player.
One silo was, okay, trading these wins for these wins. Are we getting an equitable amount of return there? Is it a fair, from that silo of pitching for young positional player? But the other side of it, if you want to make a move, I think we're a bunch of these first base, because it was Baskin Robbins of flavors.
Right.
There were veterans, there were young players, there was the Goldschmidts, there was the Walkers.
There were
trades or free agents. Yes, there was kind of a multitude there. And I don't know, that's just where my spidey sense was
that makes some sense.
Yeah, we could have, but we really like what Luke Raley brings. And we really liked a lot of his numbers. And if you actually look at his numbers and his production and his base stealing and his versatility and his things, there's a lot to like there. And they're going to bet that is going to be as repeatable or more repeatable than maybe one of those moves they could have made at that position.
I still am going to ask the same question I asked in my article last night about the six spring training storylines, and it is, what exactly is the philosophy offensively? Because what Justin said was not what my eyes showed me at the end of last year. The style of baseball looked different to me. The talk about being more aggressive, the talk about being, stealing more bases. Not that Scott didn't want to steal, but we saw things, bunting earlier in games, et cetera, and trying to play for one run as opposed to trying to play for the big inning that were different to my eyes.
Well, that's your eyes. What if I were to tell you this? And this will be a fun discovery over the course of the week, talking to a lot of different people about this. What if it's actually a little bit of what Shannon Drayer said about what jumped out to her? What's the difference? Just a little more freedom for the players. Not the rigidity. Not going from here to here to here to here to here. From this meeting, just giving them a little more time. As we read the inner game of tennis, I'm almost done with it now. You hear that a lot. They've got to feel it. They've got to own it. I'm not going to tell them, here's not the methodology. Here's some freedom for you. So what if the last month and a half with Edgar and with Dan was a little bit more of, you know what, you are going to have some more freedom. And if you want to bunt, you can go bunt. And if you want to go steal, and I'm going to give you more green lights, and I'm going to give you more green lights. What if maybe that is a little more of what?
That may be it. I'm very open to that. As I said, this is a question more than a statement. I know my eyes told me that what we saw in the last 6 weeks was different. No one's going to convince me of anything other than that. I don't care how many people tell me. I have eyes. I watched it. The game was played differently over those 6 weeks than it was for the previous 9 years.
But what if it was more
built? But if the reasoning for it and what was behind it was much more player-driven as opposed, I'm absolutely open to that, Brock. I think that's a really shrewd observation.
That's what I'm here for.
I appreciate it.
I'm not just here to evaluate the buff bodies.
I appreciate
I'm not just here to evaluate thick thighs save lives, and there is a lot of them.
Trying to figure out what is behind what we see is the hard part of this job.
It is.
Seeing it is not that hard.
Opining about it, not that hard.
Trying to figure out what's really behind it and what the why is, not just the what, is absolutely some of the challenge. And I'm open to watching for that. Is it more player-driven? Because what we saw was different. So why was it so different? You bring up the inner game of tennis, Brock. I'm scared to say this out loud because sort of the whole point of this philosophy of the inner game of tennis is once you start saying it, you may make it untrue.
Right.
But since reading the inner game of tennis, I'm hitting driver. Brock, this is like a 5-year issue.
In Sun City, you hit drivers?
Every time. I hit it on every single driver hole, and I only had one bad drive. Wow. Now, as the driver gets better, the irons go to crap. But don't get me, I'm not saying anything went well.
Don't let self one talk. Trust self two.
Did my first drive of the day go 270 down the middle? Yeah.
Just trust self two.
Is it a definitely Arizona aided? Yeah.
Don't talk.
Absolutely.
Stop talking. We got to go to break anyway.
I'm just telling you. I don't know if that's one of the things everybody needs to know, but it was awfully satisfying to see that ball get out there 250 plus. We'll come back with everything you need to know next. It's Brock and Salk live at spring training all this week on Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com.
For Down Territory, going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
What part of football has changed, and do you like it?
2-point conversions. We are chasing points. The game has changed. 2-point conversions and fourth downs. So we're seeing coaches dive into the data like a lot of people do with baseball. And I like it, and it is weird at the same time because I'm not used to seeing these fourth down conversions or attempts and these 2-point conversions.
For Down Territory, every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
All right, Mike Salk here, and while it is beautiful, perfect, warm weather in Arizona, I know it's not the same at home, and it hasn't been for a while. So if your utility bills are a whole lot higher this winter, or your house is feeling super drafty, well, it might be because your attic or crawl space are not properly insulated. So do what I did. Get Crawl Pros out there and have them take a look for free. They'll do that whole corner-to-corner inspection, and they won't charge you a thing. And if it does turn out you need new insulation, guess what? Utility companies have huge incentives right now to help with the cost. So if you're a Puget Sound Energy customer and your home was built before 1990, you may qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. How about that? 95%. Don't wait. Take advantage of these incredible rebates today. Call Crawl Pros and learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free, and then what energy rebates you're eligible for. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule that free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Safety comes first. When money is tight, don't neglect maintenance on your vehicle. Keep it safe. At Bucky's Complete Auto, we have you covered with available financing. For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto has been servicing and repairing cars and trucks with modern-day technology and good old-fashioned customer service. There's a Bucky's just about everywhere for oil changes, wiper blades, brakes, tire rotation, tune-ups, and factory maintenance. No appointment necessary and financing's available. Check Bucky's.com for the location near you.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Whether you're tinkering in your garage or tackling big projects, if you know the value of working with your hands, you know Harbor Freight. And you can be confident knowing that at Harbor Freight, you can get quality tools at prices that work just as hard as you do. Because the only thing more satisfying than a job well done is a job well done, well under budget. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Protein, protein, protein. Everyone is trying to get protein in their diet, but we need fats too. Healthy fat, that is, like the rich, natural peanut and almond butters found at G2G protein bars. Most bars don't have it because, well, most bars aren't real food or refrigerated. Fortunately for you, we aren't most bars. At G2G, you'll find a balanced helping of protein and healthy fat. The fact that they're delicious is just a bonus. They're fast, easy, and perfect for on-the-go families. G2G protein bars. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. The season's first tryout for adults ages 18 to 65 and older is this Sunday, March 2nd at Hogan Park at Russell Road in Kent. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers to high school and even former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
Hey guys, did you know that half of men over age 50 have erectile dysfunction on some level? Whether you have mild, moderate, or severe ED, West Coast Men's Health can help. We don't prescribe pills and hope they work. Instead, we treat the root cause of the problem with acoustic wave therapy, which breaks down plaque, unclogs arteries, and restores blood flow. We have treated thousands of men across our 11 locations nationwide and have established ourselves as a leader in the industry. So whether you have ED, Peyronie's disease, or suffer from chronic pain, such as neuropathy, carpal tunnel, or Dupuytren's contracture, West Coast Men's Health can help. No pills, no shots, no surgery, just results.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call West Coast Men's Health at 206
206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Well, it's good to get out, Brock, yesterday to the ballpark and just watch baseball in person. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like being in the sun, watching the team. And you know what? A lot more fun when they put together 17 hits
Did you do what Egan
and
said?
11 runs.
Did you get a blanket and drink 8 beers and pass out?
I did not drink 8 beers nor pass out. I did have a pretty decent brisket sandwich out there that I think was...
Here?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That wasn't bad.
The new?
I don't know. It was pretty good. I definitely rocked one of those for lunch. And I did go out to the berm for a little while and sit out there. It was cool just seeing them hit, man. Just one guy after another. Locklear had a really good day.
God bless you.
This one guy.
Bryce just sneezed.
I'm sorry, man.
Again.
Ben Williamson is on my list, on my heavy watch list.
B-Dub?
Really good day. He's a tremendous defensive third baseman. And cut 3 yesterday, he had the offense going as well.
Ben Williamson is first at bat on the day. There goes Ryan to third, swinging a ground ball up the middle. That's going to sneak in for a base hit. Bliss rounding third. He's going to score. Ben Williamson with a slow roller, wide open on the left side as the shortstop Perdomo went to his right with Bliss running to third. So Williamson with a base hit into center field, drives in a run, and it's now the Mariners 4 and the Diamondbacks 1. How about this inning for the Mariners?
It was a good inning, but also just, he's one of those guys, man. He's older than a lot of the other young kids. He's 24. He went to college first. He's not an 18-year-old who just got drafted out of high school, but he's a second-round pick. Yep. He's got there's something to this dude.
Yeah, he may be one of those, as Justin Hollander said when you asked him the question about can one of these guys, young guys, run with it, and he said, kind of an old football, 101 that I heard all these years. You make the decision. You tell us. Julio told us a couple years ago, right? We've seen this with guys in the bullpen over you're going to, ultimately, it's not us making the decision. It's your play is going to be at such a consistent level here, hard with just basing on results. So I think it's a consistency day to day and week to week over the next 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, that I hope one of these guys does help them make the decision. Yeah. And go run with it.
I'll get back to it today against Milwaukee. Logan Gilbert, who's sitting, 30 yards from us, 25 yards from us right now, watching bullpens. Logan will be out on the hill. And then Luis Castillo goes tomorrow. Maybe a little preview of a pitching order to come in the regular season.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
What is Logan watching? Well, he's watching a couple guys that they really could have used in the bullpen last year throwing today. Jackson Kowar was immediately in front of him. Again, another guy that looked like he was probably going to make the big league squad to start the year, and instead had Tommy John, has been out since then and is on his way back. Could be here as soon as May. Right behind him, the dude, Matt Brash, one of our favorites, good Canadian dude. And, he's throwing real hard and with a...
You know what is so amazing watching him in person? I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Is how fast he gets down the mound. Right, everybody can do it a little bit differently, just like a golf swing. Every one of these wind-ups, and there's, I think, some basics that every one of them do well. But, man, is he twitchy down that mound.
You know what's funny? You were saying earlier that he's not that tall. He's not. But his legs are really long.
Yes.
He's one of those long legs, short torso guys, so that when he comes, I think what you're kind of reacting to is how far
much
down
ground
the
he
mound
covers.
he
Yes.
gets. It's not quite Logan Gilbert where the hand extension is halfway to the plate.
Yep.
But for his size,
Yes.
he's really sort of long down the mound.
Yep.
And that would be an enormous deal for them. The other conversation, of course, Jorge Polanco, not a full go just yet. Is it a concern? No. But considering part of that conversation is, hey, Polanco's healthier and he's going to be better because of the knee. Well, not seeing him out there to start is, something that you got to take note of.
I would say when the calendar turns next week to March and he's not out there and playing in games, my concern meter goes up.
Absolutely.
I think these are little baby steps to make sure that they give him enough runway to feel good, which was something for a lot of last season he did not.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Kraken win on the road Saturday in their first game back. It was great to see that. Jordan Eberle was out there, the captain. They got a goal from Capo Caco. They got a goal from Jared McCann, who's not had enough of those this year.
Oh, you love saying that.
Not as much as my kids do. You've got to hear my kids say it all the time. Capo Caco. They say it constantly. Like they won't shut up about Capo Caco. It's especially Avery. It's nonstop. She was overjoyed that he was one of the ones who had signed the jersey that she won the other day.
Nice.
Unfortunately, they couldn't carry it into the next game. Alice Chechka made his first start and goal ever, his debut, and lost 4-1 to Tampa Bay.
Gotcha.
Combine this week?
Combine gets going this week. Guys start flying in there today. I think a lot of the personnel gets out there. It's kind of these first 3 days are a little bit of what Justin Hollander was saying. This is a lot of the activity that nobody else sees. These are the meetings, and we heard that Matthew Stafford's agent's been asked to go gauge his market value with other teams. So
is that Kelly? His agent?
No.
Oh, he has an actual
agent. St. Elmo's tonight.
I assumed it was Kelly.
And
she's his
Tuesday,
spokesperson.
And Wednesday, a lot of those conversations, and the boys start working out on the field on Thursday.
All right, that's everything you need to know. 1/4 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. She doesn't have. She's not officially licensed as an agent.
I don't think Kelly is.
It's weird.
No.
Could have sworn.
Yeah.
Could have sworn she was. Very active.
She's a tough cookie now.
She's
overcome some
She
tough
reminds
stuff.
me of somebody. I just can't quite.
Can't place it?
No.
Okay.
Well, maybe they're just looking on the. I don't know. She reminds me of something. I'm not sure exactly who that is. Matt Brash is done. He's now walking off after a pretty good little bullpen.
Looking good out there, Matthew. You betcha. You know what I always love? I always love when they finish the bullpen and it's like the end of a golf round. The pitcher walks up to the catcher and there's that little shake of the.
Do they take the hat off too?
Take the hat. I don't know if they do or not.
I am adamant about that, and I gotta tell you, I don't like when people don't do it back. I think it's rude.
Agreed.
You've got like when you're going to shake hands at the end of a round, you take your hat off.
That's right.
You look the person in the eye. You shake hands with authority.
Yes.
And people don't do that. I feel like I'm a little suspicious. More, it's a little sus when they don't do that.
Oh,
not gonna lie, it's a little sus.
Oh boy.
Did that roll off the tongue?
We're gonna have Brock trying to use.
Did
you're
that roll
such a
off the tongue?
slay. No, it didn't. No.
No?
I can't say that it did. Do you want to ask one of the young players whether you can use?
I don't
sus?
want to become sus to them. I mean, obviously, I don't want to be mid by saying sus.
Oh no.
Speaking of which, Lyle's up next. He's mid. He's sus. He's wearing a bright blue short shirt and some short shorts, man. We're going to find out what's going on with this guy next on Brock and Salk.
Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
The Mariners win the AL West if what? There is a longing for a good team that I have, that everyone from around here has, that creates a lot of emotions. Simultaneously, I want to feel excited about this season.
Yes.
I want to see a path.
The Mariners win the American League West if Julio Rodriguez reaches his fullest potential. I think if Julio Rodriguez is the MVP candidate that we all know that he has inside of himself.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we are committed to giving you quality workmanship and white glove service that exceed your expectations. Get our exclusive leak armor installation backed by a lifetime warranty. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very special specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request that complimentary design and estimate consultation today at 206-992-0364, 206-992-0364, or project ideas, explore photos at pcfgroup.com, pcfgroup.com.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chonky chonkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only. Stream every Seattle sports show with the Seattle Sports app. Brought to you by Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center. Get new videos, podcasts, and articles on the Seahawks and Mariners from your favorite Seattle sports personalities daily.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
Hey, Bill! Got a leak? Need heat? Call Southwest today.
Southwest Plumbing, the one to call.
It's time to go all in at Toyota of Kirkland. All in on the largest savings opportunities on the largest inventory of Tacomas, Tundras, Prius, and the BZ4X. The incredible team at Toyota of Kirkland is all in on your car buying experience. They'll set you up with a test drive and you can take that car home on the same day. Come on down to Toyota of Kirkland and get all in on the best deals with the best inventory. Check out their wonderful showroom today or go all in online at toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien.
Xfinity here. How can we help?
Hi. My daughter invited her entire class to her birthday party. Can my Wi-Fi handle it?
Oh, well, at Xfinity, our latest gateways have tri-band Wi-Fi technology, letting you connect hundreds of devices at once.
No way. So if all the kids are watching stuff on their phones, well, their parents are sharing videos online.
Yep, go ahead and watch videos. They can all do their thing and party their way. No problem.
Oh, we are gonna need a bigger cake.
Now through March 4th, get fast, reliable Xfinity Gig Internet for $25 a month for 1 year with no annual contract and Wi-Fi equipment included when you add an unlimited mobile line. And ask how to get an eligible free 5G phone with trade-in. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Requires PayPal split on auto-pay stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced mobile speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds and actual internet speeds vary.
Washington State ranks number 5 in the country for auto theft. The most high-risk vehicles are Kia, Hyundai, Ford F-150, F-250, and F-350. Help keep your car safe with these simple and important tips. Don't leave your car running unattended. Park in well-lit areas. Lock up every time. Keep valuables out of sight. Use an anti-theft device like a steering wheel lock. Share this information with friends and family. Prevent the theft and keep you and your vehicle safe. These tips brought to you by the Washington Auto Theft Prevention Authority.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, the Buff Dude Report is in full go here in Peoria. Everybody that walks by, Brock's got a comment, and it turns out he's affecting other people. Lyle and TJ from the Marine Layer down here as well. TJ's commenting on who's gained a little weight, who's looking a little round.
Yeah.
Lyle doesn't have time to do that because he's too busy working on his own pipes over here. He's got the gun show going on right now. Good morning, Lyle. Thanks for coming by.
You know, anything.
Whoa, that's loud.
No,
Jesus.
he's good.
All right.
He's good. No, no, you're fine.
Are we live?
Yeah,
Are we live right now?
We're live. Thank you, JSM.
Yeah, we're here. No, it's been good. Spring training's been fun. It's only been a couple hours, but I'm enjoying it.
All right, what have we seen so far? What was the first thing we did?
First thing we did when we got in was go to In-N-Out, but first thing we did when we got out to the...
Whoa. Lyle almost got
Did I almost just get smoked with a
You
ball?
got almost just got smoked with a foul ball.
Oh my gosh!
Wow.
Wow,
That was very, very close.
Would
to
that have
hitting
been absolutely incredible? 1 minute into him being a guest,
Bang!
away from the board, Lyle took a shot to the temple and we lost him.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, that hit like right.
Yeah, that almost
Whoa.
hit him.
I may have to now turn.
Yeah, no, I'm a little
Okay,
nervous.
all right.
Now, I'm not going to lie. That
Lyle,
was
I'm
terrifying.
probably not going to look at you for a lot of this. So.
Lyle, just speak. Tell us what happened when you almost got killed by that foul ball about 10 seconds ago.
I'm still trying to figure out who it is. I guess we'll find out here in a few minutes.
Some lefty.
But
has to be.
I don't know. First thing I noticed, they had Ryan Bliss at third base this morning, and asking Shannon, that's the first time she's seen that either. So, which would make sense. If he's going to be on the roster, you would think you'd want him at multiple positions, right? Not just somebody who can only play second base. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, try to take advantage of his skill set, which is running around, using his speed, right? He does have a little bit of pop, so it's not like unheard of to put a guy like that at third where the speed and especially some of the power could actually play pretty well.
Definitely. I guess the question just becomes, can he make the long throw? But I guess that's what we'll find out throughout the next few
So,
weeks.
Lyle, give
Let's
me.
also hope that's not because Jorge Polanco still isn't out there. I hope those two things aren't connected. They
Salk is
probably
very
aren't.
nervous
No, I'm
about
not. I just said I hope those two things aren't connected.
You've brought it up a few times.
I am.
Salk, when a host repeats himself, Maura has learned this. What is she? When I always tell you about a coach repeating himself.
I will admit. All right, you want the story behind this, Maura?
Yes.
I started my career being around the Red Sox a lot. And if one thing was true about covering that organization, it's that every little thing eventually turned into a big thing. And they were liars, and they would exaggerate.
They would
the
cover.
opposite. Like, it was just like a habit. It was just the way that organization was run. Hey, what's wrong with this guy? Oh, nothing. He's totally fine. Like, oh, he's got just a little bit of a forearm thing. And then you talk to him and be like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, it's a forearm thing. And he'd point directly at his elbow. And you're like, oh, you mean you're going to have Tommy John? No. And then 2 weeks later, you'd have Tommy John
So you're
surgery.
bringing your past trauma into this relationship.
A lot of trauma, a lot of scar tissue, and that's
It's just when guys are supposed to be one place and they're not, and then you see other things that could be connected to it.
And I think
my
in
mind
this sport,
automatically asks.
And I would understand, because I think in this sport, maybe unlike a football training camp where if you got a hammy or you got something or there's just blunt trauma, like this sport, they're not working unbelievable. I mean,
they're not running wind sprints all day.
No. So, I mean, they're working hard in that it's an everyday grind and there's details to it, but it's not a physical exertion.
Yeah, so again, I'm not sitting here saying this is a disaster. Jorge Polanco's not playing yet. The Mariners better. No, this isn't that. Believe me, you would know if
oh, dang.
Jesus Christ.
We are, you know what? I'm getting up.
We're in the danger
We
zone.
almost died twice. Oh, my God. I will stop talking about Polanco, I promise. Justin, get a glove and stand behind us. We're in trouble here.
Well, that time I actually saw it coming.
You did?
Yeah, I saw it wasn't coming for you.
You didn't want to say anything? Thanks a lot.
It landed like
It
10
took a
feet in
high
front of
hop
you.
over the roof.
Jeez. This is a danger zone here in the last half hour of the show.
I got to tell you, Brock, from someone who took hits from 300-pound
Yeah.
defensive linemen, you're pretty scared of a
I
little
don't
round
like-
baseball.
Dude, you take a baseball off the
Yes.
back of the head.
That one landed really close to me.
I mean,
That was right behind me.
Brock did get hit in the arm once.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And I shook that thing off.
That was
no
from
problem.
that was from a throw though, an errant throw.
That's right. This
Yeah,
way.
a throw,
Yes.
fine. These are legitimate
Barn-
batted baseballs.
Well, wait. While we're on the topic of he's saying you're not tough, in person are these 3-plate licks? We can see them now.
You know what? I could see where some would doubt. But I'm not going to. I'm going to believe they are a little pale. I mean, it's a good. You have some sunscreen on them?
Everybody's more pale. We've been in Seattle.
I know.
What are we supposed to do?
I get it. Do you have some sunscreen on them, Lyle?
I do.
Okay, good. All right.
I burn pretty easy. So
Yeah, good. Hey, Lyle, give me your. You don't have to hold your headset like that.
Well, I'm trying to keep the mic up.
Oh, okay.
I think he's trying to make sure he doesn't get hit in the side of the face.
Is that what
with
it
a-
is?
By a foul ball.
Like a first baseman sliding back in, or the guy at the first base. Lyle, give me your three, and in the audience, and we see some Mariner fans. I love that every year over there on the fence line, taking in players. Give me your three players this week that Lyle's got to get a better feel for. That you're coming down here, you're going to be on the backfield, you're going to do all your other fun stuff with the Marine Layer. Give me three guys that by the time you leave here this weekend, you're like, ooh, I really got to get to know them.
Get to know them, or kind of just see what they've got in games.
Any way you want to add context to it.
I would say, I think Cole Young's the most interesting guy in camp, and part of that is because just of what a wide range of opportunity he has. And I know right now he's got a little bit of an arm thing, so he's been a little bit limited. But I just want to see how close he really is to the big leagues, even if he's not going to make the roster out
Were
of
you
camp.
here at the game yesterday? Did you get to the game yesterday?
No, we got in at night.
It's a little funky, man. So he came in as a pinch hitter for Cal and ended up DHing because, as you said, he's got a little shoulder thing. Had a nice hit back up the middle, and you're like, all right, hey. And then got picked off first. And you're like, ah, jeez. And it's just one of those, like, is that a learning moment for a young kid? Or is that, like, you know, one of those things where the manager sees it and is just like, yeah, not ready. I don't know what to do with this. So I think he's a good one to bring up first.
Yeah. I mean, just because, his range of opportunities is so big. I would say Polanco's another. I know you were just talking about him, but just in terms of how healthy does he look, how does he adjust to third, because he really hasn't played that many games in his career at third. So that, and then what adjustments has he made at the plate over the offseason?
You really like Polanco, huh?
I do.
You going to get a chance to see him?
I think so.
All right, we'll see. You're only here a week, so.
Yeah.
He was out here earlier pushing the sled around.
Wow. That's not going to tell you much about his approach at the plate.
Settle down.
The poor guy is dragging his leg around. He can barely move.
Settle down.
I do like Polanco, though. He's a good dude.
The person.
Yeah, good dude.
Okay. And number 3?
Number 3. I'll say Emerson Hancock. And I know we know that the rotation's probably set barring an injury, but how much improvement has he made? I actually liked a lot of what he did in his start yesterday. Fastball was a little up. It looked like he took a little bit of velocity off the slider, so I thought that was interesting. It felt like that was probably intentional. So, you know, you guys talked with him about a week ago, and he talked about he's added a bunch of stuff to his own arsenal this offseason. So how does that play out? Because he doesn't seem to be pumping it up at 99 the way he once was at Georgia, so he may have to change speeds a little bit more. So more pitches the better, I think, for him, and I'm curious to see how he uses it all.
You and TJ ever shag balls out there?
They haven't asked.
Oh, you can? Sign up for
you got to go sign up for it.
Oh, yeah. I'll forward it to you.
Yeah.
All right.
You have your glove?
No, I didn't know this was a thing.
You didn't bring your glove? TJ, did you bring your glove?
No.
Are you guys baseball fans or what? Like, what? I don't understand. You guys didn't bring your glove?
You're the...
Did you bring your glove?
Not this year. I used to
You
before, more ruined my hamstring. I can't go out there and shag balls anymore. I'm liable to pass out and have to be carted off in a stretcher.
Did I do that, or did you trying to hot dog and show off?
I don't know. I don't know why you got to split hairs. There's no reason both those things can't be true at the same time.
Okay,
Brock, give me yours.
Before
Who
you
are the 3 guys you gotta see?
I got to see.
Who do you got to get?
I got to go see the number 1.
Colt Emerson.
I got to see Colt.
I will
Emerson.
tell you that being at the game yesterday, it wasn't like I came into the game being like I've got to see Colt Emerson. But as soon as he came into the game, it was like I was like, hey, we got to watch this guy. Like I got to see what this looks like. And you're right, it does look a little different when one of the top 5 prospects in the game, according to Keith Law, when he steps in. Yeah, you're going to look at it.
Yeah, and he just is he's ahead, right? I mean, you get to that point because you are ahead physically of others, and then there's the whole rest of the pieces that go to it, the emotional, the mental, in his first big league camp, still unbelievably young. So I think he's a must-see. We got to get back to Felny and Celestine because last year when he walked out here and he was just doing the little drills with Perry off the wall, it was like, what is that? Who is that? That guy just, again, kind of like Emerson.
Jesus!
Oh, that one got me.
All right, that one was pretty close.
That legitimately hit Brock.
Oh, that one
Are
got
you
me
all
in the knee, yeah.
That looked legit painful.
Oh, yeah. Look at me right now.
Oh, my God.
That one got me right.
All right, we're going to have to, get a screen.
Yeah, that one got me. That one's
my God.
That one's going to leave a good mark on the knee.
Dude.
Oh.
Justin was watching. It still didn't help.
Justin, what are you doing over there?
He didn't see it at all.
You know what I feel? I just feel like, it got me right there.
This is a danger zone.
So when Divish says, you take one, you hit and see what that feels like. Now I know what that feels like.
It hurts a lot.
Yeah, that stings pretty good. Okay, so Celestine number 2. Wow, that we've been in this spot over the years.
It's never been quite like this.
It has never been.
No.
Now, are we scooted over a little bit more?
No, we are in exactly the same spot we were in last year.
Gosh, that is like 4.
We are going to need...
Who the heck is in the cage over there? Whoever it is, cut him.
Who is it? It was Cal? Oh, my gosh.
Cal is going to have to sign my knee. Oh, my. Dr. Dan, where are you, Dr. Dan?
Big Dumper was here.
We're gonna need a screen. There's no doubt. We're gonna need something.
Yeah, that one.
Protect us.
That got me pretty good.
Yeah, no, that looked like it really hurt.
Okay, so that's it. I only got 2. I might be on the IR for the next 10 minutes.
Oh no! Are you in that much pain?
Oh, I'm okay, but that did sting.
Oh, I
pretty
believe
good.
it.
Yeah,
that's a really hard baseball that hit you square in the knee.
Yeah.
On the fly.
And then see how far I ricocheted off that big knee of mine.
Yeah, almost back into the field. which is pretty far away.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now I'm going to admit, this is really hard to focus now on doing the rest of the show.
So I need Lyle.
We got about 15 minutes
No,
left.
splitting hairs. Splitting hairs, Lyle. I need you to help weigh in on this little argument, this little debate that I think is going to be week long. Salk's won, and rightfully so, after all these years of covering baseball, being around baseball, feels like his eyes told him something over the final 30 to 50 games. And I don't want to speak for you here, Salk, you can speak, but just from a style of play. And we asked Justin Hollander last hour, about how much different will it be? A group that has been built so much on the analytics, so much on the projection of that. So how much different will it be if stylistically this play rolls back to maybe, previous era? And he was like, 0.
He said, I disagree with the premise.
Totally disagree with it. That's not what happened, that we stole more bases. Sure. But that played to those guys' strength, and that is something analytically that's super positive. That, some of the way that they played, bunted in the third inning, well, that was very specific to that pitcher, that moment, that player, that really felt like he did not see a huge shift stylistically, schematically in the way they've went about it. Strategically. Did you?
Trying to think about that. I felt like I saw more of a shift. I felt like once Dan Wilson got in here, similar to Salk, you saw a little more small ball and you saw a little more situational hitting. Man.
Oh, yeah.
Brock's got a huge welt on his leg.
That feels good.
This is a distracting segment.
Can I actually say that feels good in some ways?
You can't. Yeah. That looks like you may need knee surgery.
Yeah, it feels good.
What's the Rocky IV line, Brock? No pain?
No pain. I feel no pain, Rock. No pain. Seriously. Did your eyes in the final 30 to 50 games see something strategically different?
I felt like I saw something a little bit different, but I feel like we're going to get a better test of it once this year kind of gets underway, because 30 to 40 games, it's just not that big of a sample
It's also
size.
30 to 40 at the end of a season where you are sprinting to the finale as opposed to, playing the full marathon. They were down, they were out, they were trying to get themselves back into contention. There is a little bit more of a sprint mentality during that period than there is playing it out over the full 162. So I don't know, man. I feel pretty confident that what my eyes saw were different.
Mm-hmm.
What that means moving forward, I think we're going to find out just what the commitment level to that is.
I think that's right. I just want to know how much bunting I'm going to have to watch. That's what I want to know.
Well, they were bunting right over here earlier today. You missed a whole bunting exhibition.
Yeah, they put out the buckets out there. They got a little competition. They want to see where, how effective guys can be.
You're going to learn to love it, Lyle.
Well, I'm not so sure.
You're going to learn to love it.
Well, was there anybody out here was Lazaro Montez bunting?
Yes, constantly. Yeah. They had Laz Montez bunting nonstop. That's the goal, is they're going to make this monstrous dude do all the bunting.
That sounds
forward.
just great.
I'll give you 3 that I want to make sure that I get a chance to see while I'm down here. I don't know that we'll get to talk to him much, but Randy Arozarena is going to be pretty high on my list. We've never seen him in a Mariner camp.
Does he do much conversations through translator?
I don't
or otherwise?
think so.
He doesn't?
That's my understanding. He's a pretty quiet dude in general. It's funny because he plays with such flair.
Yes.
He's very loud physically and plays with a lot of flair, but everything I've heard about him is that he's an incredibly quiet dude other than the way he plays with a little flamboyancy. So I don't know how much I'll really get a chance to see the personality. But I do want to get eyes on Randy, and I think he's such an X factor for them. That's a guy you're looking at to be one of your top hitters. I mean, other than Julio next. I mean, he's the guy with the best track record of anybody else on the team. So he's really high on my list.
You ever been hit in the knee by a pitch? Is it normal that
you can't let this go, can you?
Well, my toes are now tingling. Is it normal? Is it normal that I feel tingling? Hey, Justin, you've been hit by. Is it kind of normal that my toes are now kind of okay? All right.
I don't know if I was ever hit in the knee. I want to say I got hit in the foot.
Would you like to be?
No, not at all.
You could get you in against Matt Brash over here the next time he throws. See what that looks like.
Yeah, miss me with that.
You think you're all set?
Good.
So he's really number 1 for me, just because we haven't really had a chance to see him. It's
you know what else he strikes me as?
Randy?
It's very possible that he could hit like 180 this spring. But he goes into this with just, I'm going to work on what I'm going to work on. I'm not going to try to get base hit. You know what I'm saying?
Like hit 180 this spring and then hit 330 in April.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
I could see that.
Yep.
That would not surprise me in the least. But he's definitely number one with a bullet. I'm with you. Colt Emerson is definitely on my list of guys that I want to watch and see and experience. What does a top 5 type of prospect look like?
Yep.
The last time we saw one was Julio Rodriguez, and he looked different. Colt Emerson's not built like Julio, and he's really young.
Have we seen him this morning yet?
But he's got a base on him, man. He's got a lower half that is Lyle-esque. I mean, like he is, and we'll see. Can he remain at short long term? He looks a little bit like a third baseman because he's so potentially big. I heard look out, and I freaking panicked.
We all flipped.
Munoz was just yelling to someone to come catch him, and everybody ducked and panicked, thinking that we were getting yelled at that a ball was coming.
That's going to be really funny on the video stream.
I'm terrified right now.
You go back and look at that.
We all ducked.
He said, look out, and we all...
I don't think he even said look out. I think he was just calling for someone to come over, and we all assumed.
I heard look out, and I ducked. Maybe I'm listening for it. I don't know.
I will say, I feel like Colt, about this time last year, looked a little bit more like your typical minor leaguer. He was pretty young. He was drafted about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Just seeing him this morning, he looks like he fits right into big league camp, if you ask me. He looks pretty built.
I've talked about him a lot today. Ben Williamson's on my list as well. I'd like to meet him and kind of just talk to him for a little while.
Can you do me a favor today?
I'm enamored a little bit.
Can you do me a favor?
I've
Can
got
you
a little
reach
baseball crush on
reach
Ben
out
Williamson.
to a couple of your baseball folks, Keith Law in particular, and just say, what's going on here? Plus defender, second round pick, should be kind of the time. What is it? What is so flawed in
it's
the
not flawed, just the bat.
No, that's what I'm saying. What is flawed offensively? What is it that doesn't project with the bat? Because usually Gold Glove caliber third baseman defensively,
I'll text them today.
Right? They usually do highlight what you are defensively, and I think
we're going to see him this year. Honestly, like I would be shocked if Ben Williamson doesn't appear in the major league club this year. Doesn't mean it's going to be straight out of camp and that you see him in March and April, but I would be shocked if he doesn't end up contributing for at least a few games up with the big league club. So I mean, those guys are on my list. Mitch Garver's still on my list. If there's a bounce back candidate on this team, it's him and it's JP. They signed this guy last year to be like their designated hitter and legitimate bat in the middle of the lineup. It obviously went so poorly last year that he became a backup catcher. That's not great.
Did you see his swings yesterday, Lyle?
Yeah, they looked a little different. I think different in a good way.
Yeah, that's what I was curious
Shorter,
about.
like a little more just to the bat, to the ball.
Yeah, just a little simplified, a little shorter.
He had a couple hits. Yeah.
You asked Justin Hollander earlier, Brock, what's one thing that people don't understand from the outside that's true on the inside? And he gave a good answer about how many people end up touching a player
How many
along the
man
way.
hours? Right, woman hours go into every single one of their
I think the one thing that we don't give enough credit to as analysts, observer, fans, etc., is changes that players can make. I mean, coaches and they're constantly trying to do things to get better and manipulate their swing, their arm, their angle, their this, their that, their mentality. And when it works, we'll come back and be like, oh my God, it's amazing.
look at that adjustment.
Right. Like, I do think we are programmed to believe whatever has been happening is going to continue to happen.
That's a finished product.
Right. And even at 34, I think Mitch Garver is this year, if he made a legitimate change to his swing and to his mentality, why couldn't he come back and have a good year? He's been a pretty good hitter for a long time.
Well, and along those lines, and Justin mentioned this as well, and we've heard this from a few people that have been around this program and around this personnel, is equally, Salk, don't just assume that these pitchers are the best they're going to be. Don't just assume that you've seen the best of Logan Gilbert, that you've seen the best of Bryce Miller, who's out there on the mound right now. You've seen the best of George Kirby, right? As unbelievable as they've been and as highly thought of as they are, why do they have had to have hit their ceiling, right? What if there is more for those guys? I mean, how incredible would that be? Did we have a still shot of us all freaking out?
No, I want to figure out what time the segment ends and what time we have to go. So I went to look at my phone, and it says temperature warning, and they won't show up anymore.
We have about 2.5 minutes.
It's so hot that my phone is not even giving me a time reading anymore. It's quit on me.
Mine isn't either.
Have you never had that happen even?
No, I have. I have. No, it's not the first time, but it's a frustrating time given that I needed to know what time it was so that we can get out on time.
Are you done?
In a couple minutes.
You want to just go watch? You want to go?
I am excited to get out of the firing
I bet
line.
we can rely on Brady back in the studio to play some music for you when it's time.
Let's hope. Let's hope he
Is that
does
the
that.
idea?
That's him.
That's the idea.
Santos.
Huh? Jeez. He's an impressive-looking guy.
Yes, he is.
I just got to finish today just saying that. You know, I know the Buff Dude report, and Brady's been on the ready for it all day. We're not going to play right now, Brady. Maybe we'll play it tomorrow or at some point this week. But that whole premise was like, where are the Buff Dudes at? Where are the guys at?
They're right here.
Like when I came into this clubhouse,
Look to
Lyle,
your right.
16 years ago. I know. When I came in here 16 years ago, I said to Salk, like, where are they? I came out of an NFL locker room. My eyes were used to seeing like a caliber of athlete, and I saw just a bunch of normal-looking dudes.
You know what, though? It's so funny because you're right. There's so much more athleticism in this game and size and strength. But right after seeing him walk by, Gregory Santos, who's a big, big dude, you see Gabe Spire walk by, who's not.
There's still a place for it.
And he throws 95 miles an hour from the left side.
And you're not going to have 26 thoroughbreds. It's not the way it works. And the skill set's different for relievers and for starters and for positional players. But the caliber of athlete that they have drafted, they've cultivated, and they've developed over these years, hey, man, we have frustrations, and they were vented. And, Lyle, you vented a fair amount of them, right?
But it's impossible not to come down here. Be in the building, in the facility, around the people. It's impossible. I'm serious.
Yes.
It is impossible not to show up at a spring training camp and not start feeling hope. You can't help it.
100%.
I mean, like, I don't care if you are the most cynical blogger on Twitter. I don't care who you are. You cannot show up here and not feel some of the level of hope. And I'm betting that is true at 27 spring trainings around the league. There might be one or two. I don't know
if many of them have this depth of caliber of.
No, I think that's true. I think most you'd feel the energy.
Yes,
you can write the story.
The optimism. Sure.
All right, maybe if you're in Pittsburgh, one or two places, Chicago, you're like, this just isn't going to work. But other than that, man, I bet you if you went to Oakland A's spring training, they're right now today going like, hey, we did this and this last year. We're going to try to sign Butler to a deal, and they brought in some little money here, and then you can't help it. There's
Hope
a vibe.
springs eternal.
Hope springs eternal. All right, tomorrow we know that we're going to get Bryce Miller, who's finishing up his bullpen right now.
I might be on the IL tomorrow. Might have an ice pack.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm not coming out here without a screen behind us.
Yeah.
This is like a dangerous
Well, just for the final hour.
I'm going to be calling OSHA as soon as we're done with the show and see if we can get this fixed.
Yep.
Stick around for Bump and Stacy. They're up next. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. from Peoria. Until then, the hay.
Barnes.
See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper! Seattle Sports, your home for Bump and Stacy.
The Mariners win the AL West if what? There is a longing for a good team that I have, that everyone from around here has, that creates a lot of emotions. Simultaneously, I want to feel excited about this season.
Yes.
I want to see a path.
The Mariners win the American League West if Julio Rodriguez reaches his fullest potential. I think if Julio Rodriguez is the MVP candidate that we all know that he has inside of himself.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app.
What if your business could see beyond what is and into what can be? What if you could create more impact in every decision? What if you had a partner as visionary as you are? With Bank of America, you get access to our trusted experts, real-time insights, and digital tools. So whether you run a local shop or a global enterprise, you're backed by business solutions to make every move matter. What would you like the power to do? Find out how at bankofamerica.com/banking for business. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank sponsor of FIFA World Cup 2026.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. I mean, mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true.
You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but